Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of, well, it's Trekking Across the Universe, but it's back to Galactica here on the NDB Media Network. Today is January 18th, 2024. Didn't get a chance. Happy New Year to one and all, or maybe I did, but I'm doing it again. You know who I am. I'm Roger. That's Greg. Greg, how you doing, young man?
I'm
What's
doing
what's
well. How are
happening
you?
on the East Coast out there?
Just trying to stay warm.
Really cold out there right now?
Not as bad as the South's been, but it's chilly.
Yeah, I've been blind to it, but apparently it is really cold across the United States, except California. But hey, it is what it is. My glorious buddy over here. Well, you too, Greg. But Michael, how you doing, Michael?
I'm cold too.
Really? How cold is it in the nation's capital right now? Because this morning, surprisingly, it was in the 50s, and right now it's about 59. So we had a bit of sun and
Aw,
some heat
Oh, I
today,
feel so sorry for you. Yeah,
well,
yeah.
as you should.
I should.
Yeah, I'm getting all prickly in the
Right
head.
now it's 32.
That's cold.
But this is the warmest it's been for the last few days.
That's right. You've been in the 20s, huh?
We've been
Wow.
in the teens or less
Oh, even
at
worse.
night. Yeah.
Wow, I hear you. Well, folks, I'm on the West Coast. Greg, I believe, are you in Maine right now, or
Connecticut
you're
today.
in Connecticut right now? And Michael is in just outside the nation's capital. And this is my first time I get a chance to welcome him. He's already been on with us, so that is cool. Trey, good evening, young man. How you doing?
I'm doing very well. I'm in the eastern time zone of the planet Arcta. I'm huddled here in my snow ram after crashing somewhere in the sector Hecla, and I'm just hoping we don't reach death point.
Very good. Very good. Appreciate that, man. Ladies and gentlemen, we're continuing our Back to Galactica, and we're going to get to it right now. I believe we've already covered the mini series, I guess the original one, which was 3 episodes. And then last week, which I wasn't here for, and I regret not being here, we had the Lost Planet of the Gods. And now we're going to get to the next episode, The Lost Warrior. And it was cool. Just very quickly, the series, of course, created by Glenn A. Larson. The teleplay was by Donald Belisario. The story was by Herman Groves, and this one was directed by Rod Holcomb. Episode had an approximate runtime of 48-47, and the I don't know if you can place the special guest, but there are some really well-known people that were in this episode that are throughout Hollywood in TV shows and movies. But it was Kathy Cannon, Lance Legault, Claude Earl Jones, and of course Red West. We'll get to that. Hey, Trey, jump in, man. You laughed at that one. Go for it. Get in
Memphis
on
Mafia, man, you gotta love them.
it. Yeah. That was good. Yeah, right away. So, look, we know what the deal is. This was one of the joke episodes, and I shouldn't even say it that way, but we talked about how Battlestar Galactica, the miniseries, was going to be a set of mini series, 1 2 part episodes. And when apparently the ratings came in from the miniseries or the 3 part premiere, ABC immediately says, "Yeah, boys, we're going to series." And all of a sudden, they needed 24 to 26 episodes. Unbelievable. Changed everything. So there are a few people in the production staff that said, in between the 2 parters, you got a lot of crash lands. And this was one of the first ones right here, The Lost Warrior. So uh, I don't want to ruin the vibe from last week. How'd you guys do it? Let's get to it.
You just did. So that's that. Just
Did we have a vibe last week, Michael?
no. That's why I said he ruined it. That's why
Oh, okay.
we had no vibe last week. So.
Really? You guys went for 2 hours. Don't tell me you didn't have a vibe.
No, we really didn't.
Are we having a fight on air?
Absolutely.
Oh my God! This
That's
might
what
be our
people
first.
like
This must be our first confrontation.
this year. Yeah,
What's it feel like?
like last year.
I don't recall.
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
when you get old, you
Boys,
Yes.
story.
Yeah. Warrior. We also had Johnny Timko as what was it? Was it Puppis or Pappas? It was Pappas.
Puppis.
Puppis.
Yeah. All right.
Some of the names in this episode.
Well, it's
Booties,
interesting.
Puppis.
It's interesting. Those are the names of constellations.
Yeah, I
Um,
know. I
yeah.
know. Well, most of them are, but still.
Yeah, including Lacerda.
Yes.
Now, who is that guy? Who is that actor?
Claude Jones.
Okay, yes, that guy.
Big
Very
70s, 80s character actor.
Yeah.
We also had, I kind of missed his name. I was having trouble. Was it Booty or Buddhist?
Buddhist.
Buddhist, it
Buddhist.
was. Okay, very good. That's who it was. That's not Red West, right?
No,
that
that's
was Lance.
Yeah, Lance
Legault.
Legault. Yes, okay.
Also known as Maga of the Borellian Nomen.
Yes, he was. Yep, he was a little bit later. Yeah.
We alone will survive this trek through the stars if we keep the code.
Impressive. Do you guys remember the name of the planet that Apollo ran out of fuel on?
Of course,
Equalis.
it was Aquelis.
Yes, naturally.
And
Everyone
they
knows
used
that.
Horses of sorts.
Including striped ponies that growl.
Yes. That poor horse with the body paint. Although in rewatching this, I always thought that Booty's horse was a pony, but the more I looked at it, I thought it might be a miniature horse. Not Booty's,
so.
Puppis.
Puppets, yeah.
Strider was the name of his, whatever it was, pony, miniature horse. He had a habit of growling at any.
Yeah, I thought the growling horses was fun.
I'm sorry. Every time I unmute, the dogs go crazy over here.
That's all right. We'll talk. You can be quiet.
Darn Daggets.
Although the Daggets, yes. So what I thought was fun was like when in the very beginning when Apollo was on patrol, one of the things, I've forgotten so much about these episodes, and I thought one of the things was neat was that his comm chatter, although it made it appear he was in trouble, when they went back to the Galactica, Adama was saying that it was for the Cylon ears. That he was,
saying that so they would not know where they were. Yeah.
Right.
Good tactic.
I thought that was interesting. They actually had like some sort of military tactic thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
Or did he make that as an excuse because Boxy was around? Who knows?
Oh,
No,
possibly.
I don't think it was that.
I'm just bringing up other possibilities.
And that is good. Yes.
Or to frame the story. We're going to put him on a planet. How does he get there? Boy.
Yeah, I noticed that, well, we haven't gotten to it yet, but in this episode, they were really emphasizing his fuel consumption. Every time he'd go to turbo,
I lost my sound.
Those things really went down. Oh, we hear you, Trey. We do hear you. Do you hear us? We hear you, Trey.
I think it's frozen on me.
Okay. We
I may
hear
have to
you.
drop out and ask you to add me back in because I can't hear anything anymore.
Okay. All right. We hear you.
The joys of live streaming.
Yeah. No, it's all good. I like the idea that Adama caught on right away that's what it was. Hi, Trey. Are you back? Trey?
Maybe not.
Okay. Well, we'll leave him on right there, see if he's able to.
Yep.
Okay. I did like that part. We hear you,
Sorry,
Trey.
guys. I still got no sound. I may have to
Okay.
leave and try to come back.
Okay,
Okay.
let's really. Okay, he's gone.
Yeah,
Okay, he
he's
wasn't
gone.
gone before. So, okay,
Michael, can you test him in the green room?
I'm sorry. Is that where
no,
you're
he
wearing
has to test him in the green room. I
yeah,
can't.
you're wearing the green jacket. I mean, dude, come on. Yeah.
More
I
of a
did
sweater.
appreciate how Adama caught on right away. He knew what his son was doing. But it does seem a little cold-hearted how immediately Adama's like, okay, let's go. It's like, dude, it's like, calm down. You know, you want to evade, but I guess at the time, for what it was written, I was a bit surprised by that.
Well, and it could be. Remember the episode previously? What they went through. So I
Oh
mean
yeah, the one I didn't
that
review.
could be what motivated
Hey, I'm
him
back.
to say what he did. So
Are you able to hear us, Trey?
I can hear you now. Thank you.
Awesome. And we hear you. We were able to hear everything, all of your musings.
Your grumblings as you
We-
were having difficulty.
Yes,
Or
yes.
we heard the dagger dribble, whichever one.
mhm.
Yes. Oh, yes, I was hoping to explain my absence, so
And
glad
I
that
think
came
you-
across.
No, it's all good. Ladies and gentlemen, as we get this conversation going, I do want to welcome everyone who's watching us live. We have several people watching us on the YouTube channel as well as on the Facebook page. Please let us know who you are and where you hail from, and drop your comments in the chat room. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It makes the old guys feel a lot better. So thank you. Don't forget, you can always catch up on everything that's happening on the network at ndbmedia.net. So it was good. Thank you for that. Right away, we find out that Apollo, as I mentioned, they really hit the whole fuel concept. He immediately pulled a maneuver on them. Once the Cylons committed that they were following him, he stopped the fake and he tried to take them out. He took one of them out, but he ran out of fuel. And I don't know how the Cylons lost him, but it doesn't matter. The point is he was able to land on the planet, and good thing, because there were 3 Cylons. That's 9 Cylons. It would have
Mhm.
been over. So, well, I don't know. Apollo's very, very, very good at what he does.
Yeah, Apollo, I think he changed course to look for a planet, and the Cylons said something like, follow on his original heading, that will lead us to the Galactica. So
Yeah,
that was it. They didn't care about him.
yeah. I guess, as a matter of fact, didn't they say something about that in the episode, that he's trying to lead us away?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah, but
Yeah.
they didn't realize that he was trying to lead them away.
yeah. You know, it's automate. It's the programming was only so good even back then.
The AI was, it was still learning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. We had that he lands obviously with no fuel. It's 1970s television. He crash lands and
He's fine.
well, yeah,
He found
no
some
The
trees.
ship
airbag.
is fine.
Yeah, nothing.
Trees.
Yeah, that's right.
Very
But he was-
soft treats.
and he was able to land his ship apparently without damage. So good for him. He is the #1 pilot there is. Wait a minute, who is better? Is it Starbuck or Apollo? Because we know
Starbuck.
in the new series, it is Starbuck even here.
Starbucks
Okay.
the ace.
Yeah. Okay.
Even if they never said it, he's the ace pilot.
Yeah. You know, watching these episodes again on a tangent, Starbuck is not a jerk. He has his own character. He's into himself. But I like the Starbuck character. I don't know if you've noticed that, Michael, on the rewatch. It's interesting the way he's playing it. He's a tad aloof. He's into himself, but he's not a jerk. He is a bit selfish, especially in the next episode. But we'll get into that. Trey,
He has his motivations.
he does. Trey, have you picked up on anything on this rewatch? Or I don't know how often you've seen Battlestar Galactica.
I've just seen it dozens and dozens of times, and so yeah, the thing that I picked up most from going over this one again is how, even though it was very much a cheesy, slapped together episode, they still managed to get some good, genuine, emotional scenes. There's some good feels in this one, with that relationship between Apollo and Puppis. But I'm getting ahead of the plot there.
As a matter of fact, no, Trey, you're good.
We do it all the time.
We talk about everything and anything at any time. So yeah, as soon as he lands, of course, Lupus is in the young man's sights, but he's talking about that he's bad, like red eye. And it was interesting. At first, Apollo didn't know what he was talking about, and then he realizes it's a Cylon. And looking back, I get it that Apollo's like, well, there's no way there's only one Cylon. If there's one, there's many others. So he is playing it smart. He's trying to find out what's going on. And I guess he has a plan that if there are Cylons, there's probably a Cylon base. He might be able to get some fuel and get back, but he's got to do it fast. So, I don't know. Want to give a shout out to Jay Simmons. Thank you for the love, buddy. Appreciate the like or a heart on, I think it was on Facebook. Yes. Thank you for that. Puppis is the one that finds the lucky Apollo, and he tells him the planet that he's on, Equilus. And then he talks about his uncle because his father is dead. And they, it was established real quick. It was obvious that Apollo was missing Boxy. There's no doubt about it. This is established fast. And based on the fact that Athena is recently gone, yeah, it's hitting home already.
Serena.
What did I say? Athena?
Yeah, I'm like, wait a minute. She's not gone.
Yeah, sorry, that's the sister. Sorry, that was a West Virginia marriage. I apologize. No, let's get back to the Southern California one. Do you know I can't get over as to how beautiful Athena is? Do you guys have?
Oh yeah,
you guys have
Athena
a choice
this time, right?
Yeah, this time I'm talking
Okay.
about Athena. Yes.
Yes.
She is. Oh my God, she is. And I mean, Cassiopeia is just as beautiful. But all right, gentlemen, I'm being old and sexist. I prefer Athena.
Yeah, I do too. I always prefer the brunettes
Okay.
or redheads.
Trey, do you have a choice?
Between those two, I guess I would go with Athena.
Ooh. Michael, is there a
Athena.
choice?
Yeah,
Wow.
we're unanimous here.
Wow, that is cool. Hola, Jay. Thank you for that. Hi. Jay, did you watch Battlestar Galactica growing up? I mean, I think you're about my age. Please tell me, engineer, you looked at Battlestar Galactica, please. Now, after we established that Apollo is on the planet, we switch to the Galactica, and Boxy is like, way past his bedtime, and he asks, "What is going on?" And I guess Starbuck is the one that kind of saves Adama. Oh, very good, Jay. Thank you. And it was Starbuck's idea that they'll babysit Boxy for a little while, and they'll take him over to the pilot's mess or the pilot's quarters or the ready room, whatever. And it was interesting, the scene that shows up a little bit later, but this is what I mean. Starbuck is not completely into himself. He's actually a good character. And even Boomer was playing along. I don't know if he was really happy about it, but he did.
That was I remember. I had remembered that from being a kid, and I always thought that was funny that they're playing cards with jelly beans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and he's beating them.
Yes.
Yes.
By a lot. I don't know if he was lucky, that beginner's luck or whatever. But this is the one time that they use, if I remember correctly, this is the only time they used. We talked about the measurements in other programs. This is the first time, and I think the last time, they used metrons. Do you guys recall them using metrons in another episode?
I want to say they did, but I can't place it.
Because they changed it to cubits, right?
Well, cubits is money.
Yeah. Oh, I thought that's what we're talking. Okay.
Metron. He was talking about killing a lupus within 10 metrons using pneumo, which
Oh,
are the guns that they were
okay.
using.
Forgot.
It might be the only one.
I don't know if it is. That's why I'm asking.
Yeah.
I don't recall it being anywhere else.
Oh no, there's a very good website which I'll put a plug in for called
Of course.
byyourcommand.net. Has a complete set of transcripts of these Galactica episodes, and of course, being on the web, you can search. There's 17 of them for the 17 stories, so you can search one at a time for Metrons and see if it shows up anywhere else.
Oh, huh. I like that. It is byyourcommand.net. I'm going to put that in the chat room so that everyone can see it. I think I did come across this website when I was doing some of the downloading the imagery.
So it's in Lost Planet of the Gods, Long Patrol, Young Lords.
Metrons, really? Wow.
And that's all Google found
Okay.
on those transcripts.
Oh, cool.
Wow.
You're better at Googling than I am.
If you put in a domain and then a search word,
Okay, like site colon.
it'll favor
Okay,
those results.
Got it.
And I'm still kind of unclear how long a yarn is supposed to be.
Well, it seemed that it either represented a month or a year. Because in the next episode, they do mention 700 yarns. So that is in the Long Patrol. So,
which makes sense as years for that episode.
yes.
But Adama made a comment in the two-parter that, like, if he was 100 yards younger.
Yes.
Yes, I think they have longer lifespans, like Vulcans or something, because if you skip forward to War of the Gods, I think Adama says our normal lifespan is about 200 yarns. Or maybe a yarn is half a year. Maybe it's 2/3 of a year.
Right. It was, they were always fuzzy on it. They never,
Mhm.
it was never pinned down. But continuing with that, when Puppis is talking about killing a lupus, the pneumo, that's where his mother is talking about the order of things. Lacerna collects tribute, and then all of a sudden, while that conversation is going on, they're establishing a rapport real quick. I did like, and I skipped over it, the scene where Puppis is with Captain Apollo outside his Viper, and then Mom shows up with the gun, and he's like, "Oh, calm down. She can't hit the side of a whatever with that." And she's like, "Get over here, light the lantern." I thought it was kind of funny because he goes on over, finally lights a lantern, and the light's like up in the air, and then he moves it down, and then Apollo's like, "I mean, really? Do you have to do this?" You know. Looking back, I think it's funny. It was well done. It was
I always got a kick out of, like, these old sci-fi shows when they had the rustic, 1800s mixed with current, and then or they tried to do futury. So it was amusing, and my wife was making all sorts of comments about the all the style mixings in this one.
Like they have those metal hats or metallic hats.
They looked like they were like either tin or vacuum plastic sheet, painted silver.
Yes. But you can see the roots of something like Firefly, the humble origins of Firefly in an episode like this.
Yeah,
the space
somehow
western.
Firefly didn't make it hokey.
No, but that's why it's a humble origin.
Yeah, I suppose.
A very humble origin.
But I mean, it's definitely the 70s because I mean they had those glittery vests.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now we do have to remember this is still the 1970s.
Is it lame or is it lame?
I think it's
Ooh.
Lame. Hi, Beamer. How you doing? By your command,
Hey,
yes.
Beamer.
Which, by the way, sorry to skip to the reimagining, but if you listen to Ron Moore when they did the movie Razor and the original Cylons finally say by your command, even Ron Moore is orgasmic in the recording. He says, "That's the money line." Yeah, I suppose it is in Battlestar Galactica. Beamer, we're talking Battlestar Galactica. You're more than welcome to join us. I know you're probably working, but you know you're welcome at any time. As a matter of fact, I don't think we've sent him the link. So I'll see if I can put it. Beamer, you know what? I'm just going to send it to you. I'm gonna. Well, no, I don't think I can. I'm gonna have to put it up in the end of
No,
the
I can
video.
send it to him.
Okay, because you're friends with him, aren't you?
Yes.
Michael is friends with everyone. And so everyone is friends with everyone. I think I'm the only one on the outside looking in. It's not an issue of me even trying. I'm at work, so no worries. Yes. This is, ladies and gentlemen, for those that remember, Beamer, he was on with us when we were doing the Star Wars Ahsoka series, and I think he may have joined us for another one as well. But this is cool. He found us on the internet, and lo and behold, we asked him to join us, and he's part of the team now, which is really cool. So, getting back to the episode, the mom, I don't recall her name, but she is explaining the way things are working, and then they hear something. Someone is coming, and sure enough, it is the Cylon himself.
Bella?
Yeah.
Is her
Hi,
name Bella?
Jag. You're more than welcome to join us. We're talking Battlestar Galactica, buddy. Hope you're doing well. And
Hold
folks,
on, Jag.
by the way, folks, I do want to give a shout out to Jag. The opening for this program done by Jag. So really, really good stuff. As a matter of fact, I have to talk to Jag on some other stuff that we're gonna have to do. So thank you, thank you, thank you. You're more than welcome to join us. Someone is coming. It's Red Eye, and this Red Eye actually knows what it is doing. It's on a mission, and it knows the humans are lying to it, and he gets into it. Remember, he says, "Are you trying to be a smart?" The noise went this way. You're telling me it's going back to the city. I know the difference. It was kind of funny. They were screwing with the machine, and the machine was not having anything with. Is that what you got out of that, Trey? I did.
Humans deceive, not sound waves.
That's right. Yeah.
Yep, that was
Oh, man.
funny.
I did. And I don't know if it's genuinely played for laughs. It's well done. It's just,
The script on these two was really good, actually. I mean, it was still 70s TV, but I mean, there were good stories.
Yeah, for things that were thrown together in a few days, probably. It's decent 70s TV writing.
Michael, before you had started to do the rewatch with us, when was the last time you saw any of the original series on Battlestar Galactica?
At least
'Cause
15 years.
I really had been running at least 10 years. That's why I had mentioned to Greg and Trey. I'm not sure how if you know a little bit of the story, but we've been doing a lot of reviews on stuff, and Greg joined us on an invite because I wanted to do a particular program, and he was my wingman on that episode or on that series. And he's been joining us for other stuff. And I told him I want to do Battlestar Galactica. And the first thing I heard from Greg was, when? And I couldn't get it going in for a while. But let me see. Sorry, couldn't resist the low-hanging Transformers. Oh, my God. I didn't see that one. Soundwave superior. Cylons inferior. Okay. I like that. No, that was good, Beamer. I didn't see it a moment ago. And I'd been wanting to do this for a long time. And then I told Greg in the middle of the year, dude, we have to do it on the anniversary of the miniseries, which was on December 8th, Friday. So we jumped ahead, did the miniseries of the reimagining, and then we've jumped back to the original series. That date was set in stone like in March, remember? Jeez. I said, come hell or high water, right, Greg?
Oh, yeah. And then at one point, it was looking like, are we going to do it? Are we going to get there? Is it going to happen?
Oh, my God, yeah.
You had a crazy week, a couple weeks after around Thanksgiving.
Yeah, unfortunately. But we got past them. So Um, and sorry to get back to it, but after Red Eye and them got into it, they meet Buddhist, and he immediately recognizes what this guy is. He knows what he is because that's who. And is it Martin or Marcus?
Martin.
It's
Martin was the
Martin.
father's name, the kid's
Yes,
father's name.
who happened to be a colonial warrior who I guess crashed in the same manner that Apollo did. So, and they mentioned 9 yarns ago. And if you think of the age of Pappas, I guess he's what?
10 or 11.
Yeah.
Because he was. It was 9 yarns ago that Martin died, right?
Right. Yes.
Yeah.
So it kind of follows.
Mhm.
And
The actor would have been about 13,
okay.
maybe 12 when it was filmed.
Yeah, but I'm glad he wasn't 8 because then it would have been bad. So yeah.
Oh my God. I couldn't even imagine my eight. I mean, I'm surprised how the kid that plays Boxy did so well. My grandson would be,
You
oh
know,
my God.
I
nightmare.
remembered. I didn't remember his name Pappas, but watching this episode as I did 2 weeks ago and then again today, I was impressed with this young man Johnny Timko. I know he's probably as old as us now, or he might be a little bit older,
He's a
but
little,
Oh, he's younger. No, I just looked him up, and now I can't remember what
he's younger than you.
he's younger than
Younger
you.
than
older
you?
than me.
Oh no, he's not younger than you. Oh yeah,
No,
he's
I
younger
was
than me. Okay.
yeah, I was 9 in Battlestar Galactica, so I might have been Boxy's age, or no? How old is?
Yeah, he was born in '65.
Oh, so he was 4 years older than me, not by much. Anyway, looking at this kid and his performance, I thought he did well. They chose well.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if you, as I was talking to Greg the other day, yes, I do talk to Greg. Um, if we look at what box he's in on some of the episodes, he's not in for very long on most episodes.
No, like this one.
But this kid, he was in a lot. But I think at the time he was older than Boxy was.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So that is probably why he could do that. But
Yeah. Noah Hathaway was born in 71. So he would have
Right.
been,
6 years older.
he would have been about
younger,
6 or
yeah.
7. He would have been about 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
6 when they
that.
made the movie, and then 7 when they were filming these episodes.
Mhm.
So Johnny was almost twice his age then. Wow, that's
Almost, yeah.
Mhm.
at that particular point.
At that particular point, yeah.
Because if he's born
Right.
71, 65, come on, do the math. That's only 6 years. But
Yeah.
when you're young, I remember when I told my oldest daughter, I said, "You're 4. You are no wait, no 6. You're twice your daughter's age. This will be the last time." And of course, my 6-year-old looked up and said, "Are we going for ice cream?" So I see you were impressed by this momentous moment in your life. She didn't really care.
No, not a math student, obviously.
Definitely. So there's a confrontation between Apollo and Papa's mom. Well, not necessarily a confrontation, but it gets pretty hot. And Buddhist is encouraging him to take him out. And he says, "Look, I'm gonna go find out. I have to find out what's going on, but no gun." And he repeats it several times in this episode. No gun. And I think it goes to what Apollo tells Pappas later in the episode. Because at the very end, and I'm jumping way ahead, Pappas is zap, zap, zap. He was so happy. Because, 3 minutes before, he says, "I hate you!" And then I guess that was enough for Apollo to go on over and, pull the lefty move on the Cylon. But jumping ahead, he wanted him dead because he failed. He allowed his uncle to die. And then he's 11, 12, 13. What do you expect? So
I thought it was more because Apollo wouldn't retaliate at that point in time.
yeah. I would not argue that.
The way it was directed, that's what it seemed.
Yeah, that was when Pappas was trying to shoot Red Eye, wasn't he? And that's when Apollo took the gun away
Right.
and smashed it.
Yeah.
Because
Red Eye was going to kill anyone who was armed.
yeah, because obviously the slug throwers weren't doing anything to the Cylon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Numos.
you know what? That was a good scene, which we did jump a bit ahead. That the minute Buddhist is killed, Pappas just unloads, and he hit him. I don't know where he got him, and the Cylon was about to eliminate him, and he's like, "No, no." Apollo's like, "No, no, 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 no." He's like, "They're armed," and he gets the gun, smashes it instantly, because Apollo has seen what he has seen. He knows.
Oh yeah,
That actually was a good scene. You guys talked about this earlier, that there is some real genuine emotion in this episode. Looking back, it was really well done. So he goes to town to check out what's going on. No gun. We switch back to the Battlestar Galactica, and there it is. Boxy is holding court, and he is winning. And he's playing pyramid, and he wins with a full pyramid. I think Starbuck had a 3/4 pyramid, but sorry, wasn't enough. And one of the pilots is like, "How can we drink like your fruit juice?" Fruit juice. It was kind of funny. It was good.
Yeah, old Larry Manetti there.
That's right. He's in Magnum PI later, right?
Hmm.
A lot of people got their start here, didn't they?
Yeah.
no, I mean a lot of these actors were already making their rounds.
Yeah. Ed
A lot of
Begley
shows.
Jr.
Yep.
They had to do their time as the single episode TV actors before they get a regular role.
Mm.
When we
I'm
switch
finding
back,
a director
sorry.
credit for this one.
I'm sorry,
I'm having a hard time finding the director credit.
Rod Holcomb
Okay.
for the Lost Warrior. Yeah, Greg. The only way I do it is as I'm watching it.
Oh, there it is at the top.
Yeah, I'm following all that stuff, and I make a note of it right there. So Apollo's in town, and he's checking out what's going on, and it was Lacerna's #1 guy on the order of Lacerna to go over and screw with the newbie, and he does. Pushes around, knocks a drink, does all this stuff, and Apollo is just better at holding his ground. This is the Apollo that we learn to appreciate and like throughout the rest of the series. He moves him around, and eventually he pulled a move that I remember watching the series when he sits down next to Red Eye. That was crazy.
Yeah. Old move.
Yeah. And he says, I'm going to go sit next to my friend. That was funny. That was good. And then the Cylon says, "I detect that you are trying to kill me, or that you want to kill me." He's like, "Oh, no, 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 no." He says, "Oh, no, no, I do." And the Cylon knows what is going on. So he says, you want to kill me? Don't sweat it. 9 people have died trying to do so. I'm like, wow.
Yeah.
Now, shortly thereafter, Lacerna then speaks with Apollo, and he's like, "Okay, I guess I'm impressed. Come back. We'll give you a job."
Yeah, that was amusing. You know, it's like Apollo was like, okay, how can I get in to really learn what's going on?
He tells him, "You have courage. It's a foolish trait." And then he tells him something else, which also is a foolish trait. I forget. Do you guys remember what the second line was?
No.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Because he says, "I wanted to impress you." And then Lacerna, who's just so full of himself, being the ultimate dignitary, king, whatever, mayor of his little town, he's like, "Had to impress me." I forget how he says it, but
Oh,
yeah.
He was amused.
Yes, there it was. He was amused. Michael, what are some of your thoughts so far through the episode?
I mean, I will say I like this episode better than I did the next one.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's because what we've been talking about, there just seemed to be more emotion in this one. The next one, there really wasn't emotion. It was Creed on Apollo the Starbucks because what he wanted to get out of his visit on this planet.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
this one seemed. I mean, this seemed to be written a little bit better to me.
before I forget, I don't know if you guys remember. Well, I'm sure Trey does. Greg, Michael, you must. There's a little bit of the cowboy music in the final
yeah.
scenes. You know, it's an homage to some of the other ones. Who is the homage, or what is the homage directed at when they're doing them? Is it the good, the bad, and the ugly?
Do they do a kind of a kind of thing?
They do. Do you
Hmm.
think it was an homage for the good, the bad, and the ugly?
Oh, it must have been.
Yeah, but wasn't that like homage to stuff that came before? I mean, that was almost like a trope in those kinds of films.
Yeah, that Ennio
Because it's like
Morricone
you had that,
style.
everything was like really quiet. You had a tumbleweed in the background.
I was looking for the tumbleweed. I was.
Because I mean,
Maybe a metal tumbleweed.
when they did the
That would've been
OK
fun.
Corral thing in Star Trek, it almost had that feeling too.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You know, though, I had forgotten how it happens, but after Buddhist is taken out, you know, Apollo, he's like, that's it. He's made up his mind. Someone's gonna go down, and we're going down now. He didn't hesitate. It's even he realizes, damn, you know, maybe he should have done something else, but he's gonna do his best to end it when he realizes that the Cylon is alone. But remember, he doesn't learn about the Cylon until a little bit later, because right after this, apparently he goes back to where Puppis is and the family there, and when he is there, the mom is frantic because Puppis is out. Apparently, a lupus came after the stock, and he's out there.
Yeah.
And the kid is headstrong, and she's losing her mind over it, and she figures she might actually be losing him. And Apollo goes out to back up Puppis. But what's really cool in this is Puppis took care of business. Realistically, he took the shot, he missed, but he held it together, reloaded, and oh my god, what's with these one-shot rifles, man? But
Sue made that comment too. That they've got electric flashlights, but they don't have a multi-cartridge rifle.
that's right. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you're right. That was good. Yes.
So this was actually a scene that was really dated for the show. I mean, you would never see an adolescent with a gun on television today like this.
No.
Killing or anything. You would never see that today in today's climate.
If you look carefully, he actually doesn't take the shot. If I'm correct, and since Trey has seen this many times, he's there, and then we see Apollo and we hear the bullet. Was that correct? That's the way I took it. I never actually saw him take the shot.
Well, you think
Apollo would have used the blaster.
is this like Man Who Shot Liberty Valance? You got John Wayne off in the wings shooting.
Well, no. It's actually no. I apologize. Let me be. I screwed that up. The camera shows that he's about to take the shot, but we don't actually see him take the shot. We switch to Apollo, who's like getting close, and we hear the bullet.
It. Oh yeah, sorry. Thought you meant
Well,
Apollo
because
was off there.
they wouldn't
right,
have shown
no.
the wolf getting shot. I mean,
Yeah.
it's intonated, but they don't show it because they wouldn't. I mean, they hadn't been able to.
No lupuses were harmed in the production of this program.
Yeah.
Now, what was the sound of the lupus? Because we had the horses growling. What was the sound of a lupus?
It sounded coyote wolfy.
Coyote wolfy. That's what
I
I
thought it was a bear.
Hmm.
It sounded to me like it was a bear. Just curious. Hey, Beamer, what did the lupus sound like to you? Jag, if you're still here, let me know.
Trey, what are your thoughts?
Well, maybe it was King Kong.
Oh, yeah.
I think
can
King
burn.
Kong's roar was a lion's roar played backwards, wasn't it?
Yeah, that sounds right.
Oh, you got me on that. That was good. I'd
And
forgotten.
then Star Wars started doing the stuff with overlapping different animals. That was good.
Oh yeah.
Dude, Ben
Remember-
Burt, Chewbacca. Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
hmm
Yeah.
Bears and seals and whatnot.
Yep.
Yeah, he actually does an interview and he actually is talking about the sound and he says a deadpan. What's that line? Bears and seals, oh my, or whatever it is. I thought it was so funny, and the person interviewing did not get it. I'm like, this guy's got a sense of humor. It's
Yeah.
really good. So we have that moment, and then we switch back to the Battlestar Galactica, and this was cool. Ty walks in, and he's like, "Dude, come on, man, we got to go back and save Apollo."
Oh, it's a
And
great
this-
scene.
Yes, Ty, go for it. Or Trey, sorry. Oh, I called you Ty, Colonel Ty, Colonel Trey.
I've been promoted.
Yeah, sorry about that. And he's probably like, I thought we were admirals on this program. I'm like, don't. That's a technicality. Trey, you've seen this one. Go for it. Talk about the scene, and then we'll add
Oh,
our
yeah.
commentary as well.
Yeah, Ty comes in there and says they want to go back for him. And I think Adam is like, you mean Starbuck and Boomer? Ty's like, every pilot on the ship, including me.
Yeah.
So yeah, they have this great discussion about, Adama and his if, and the remote possibility, and but Ty thinks he's just wanting to not be self-interested by, like, he's giving Apollo less of a chance because he's his son.
He does say something to the effect of that, doesn't he, Trey? He says, don't
Yeah.
sell him short because he's your son.
Yeah, Adama comes out and says, all this risk for the commander's son, and Ty says, that's utter Feldegarb, and you know it.
Yes. Yeah.
You get a
that was
Feldegarb.
good. Do you know that this scene, thank you, Trey, for that, was the relationship that Ty and Adama had. Ty respected him, never countermanded him in public, but when they'd have conversations, Ty was his equal.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I've obviously in that they could tell everyone, they could tell each other everything. Adama still made the decision, but Ty would tell him this. He was a great, what we in baseball would call bench coach. Oh, hell yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, exact
Wow.
XO.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, when he's on the Pegasus, remember when everyone gets all excited of Kane and Ty's just like, yeah, no, I get it. you know, he's the legendary Commander Kane. I get that. He's smart in that. But that was a great scene with Adama. Michael,
Yeah.
Greg, your thoughts on that?
For me, it was like a credit to the writing. I mean, it was had that Star Trek-y feel that, it's not all the episodes carried. I mean, that these were, it was a vessel, there was a chain of command, there was camaraderie. It really made it. Maybe I didn't notice it as a kid, but like looking back on it, it's like it was, it made these stories to have that type of dialogue and have that type of scene and interaction, where you do have, the checks and balances of the command crew going on.
Oh, yeah. Michael?
I don't have any thoughts on that right now.
I did appreciate how when Adama finally bends, Ty gets on the 1MC and he's like, launch the bell. And then we as a fan see the Vipers go. And then Adama's just like, I think it would have been awesome had he looked out the window or something and seen the Vipers, but it's obvious that he knew. And then Ty's just like, well,
I guess there were two Vipers ready to
launch. Which was kind of funny. All right, Michael, I hope you feel better. I want to thank you for joining us. I understand you're not feeling all 100%. So, oh, he froze. So, okay. Well, I know he wasn't feeling very well, but
Wow.
okay. Right after that, I said, I guess there were two vipers ready to launch, she says. And then Apollo is talking to Papa's mom, and he mentions Boxy, and she gets it right away.
That was a
And
good scene between Apollo and Bella.
oh, that's her name, Bella?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. I did not remember what her name was. Yes, it was. And I guess they learn that Buddhist has gone to town and he's drunk because what's his face?
Lacerda, right? Just
Well, there
Lacerda.
was
Just
another guy that I wasn't
Red Eye.
clear on who it
oh,
was.
Yeah, they say Red Eye says, or Red Eye came and took half the stock.
oh yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
Tribute.
would that have been like Buddhist's son?
I don't know who that was. That was a good question. I don't
Who
think
you,
they.
We're very
you
clear
mean
on the
you mean
relationship there.
Jason?
Yeah.
He's Vela's cousin, but I'm not sure. And Buddhist is Vela's brother, so yeah, I'm not sure exactly
Okay,
how
so it would
but
be
they're
his son.
cousins.
But he seemed too old to be that man's son.
Well, no, he could be his Buddhist's
Nephew?
father's brother's son, right? No, I mean if they're cousins, that's what that means, right?
Well, yeah, I don't know. It just
If
seemed
they're
like they
first
Sounded a
were
lot
cousins.
better though.
about the same age. They
Yeah.
look kind of like they were the same age. But
Yeah, well, first cousins, maybe so.
Yeah. He goes into town, and again he goes in with no gun, and sure enough, Buddhist is drunk, and he starts going off, and he insults the fat pig, which is really kind of funny. And we get a bit of a confrontation because he's right up in Lacerna's face, and I guess he didn't like that, and he says, "Well, I guess you can handle it." That little snapping of the fingers, it's very particular. And the Cylon responds to it all the time. We learned because I believe it's in the upcoming scene where one of the girls mentions to Apollo, "You're different. You sound different. You don't you're not an ovine guy or whatever it is." And yeah, she begins to explain what happens. They met him in the mountains. While they went up there. There was a crash site, and the others were damaged beyond repair. But one of them came up and looked right up at him, like, "Yep, the Imperious leader, by your command." His programming kicked in, and he had him ever since. So he goes into town. Buddhist is drunk, and he ends up killing himself. And this is where we had jumped ahead a little bit earlier because everyone runs in just in time to actually see it. Now, it was interesting because I think Buddhist was well liked by the community because not only did Puppets take a shot at him, several other townspeople, did you notice they pulled out their guns as well? Because when Lacerna was saying he's armed, he gets the pneumo and he smashes it, and then he reaches someone else behind him had a gun, and he also throws it to the ground.
Oh, that was Jason. That was Red West.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Thank you for that. And that's where he, I think Lacerna sets off Apollo because the Puppets tells him he hates Apollo.
Yeah.
And he says, "You see, why don't you all learn from Apollo? Respect and a little tribute." What a bastard.
Yeah.
And he says it that way. And a little tribute. I mean,
That is a tribute.
Yeah. Yep.
well, that's the type of guy he always played.
You know what? But he played it so well in this role.
He did.
And Lacerda is a good name because in Latin that means lizard. And he is very much of a lizard.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No doubt about that. Hey, folks, I want to give a shout out. Thank you, Tony. Tony Konopka, also from the East Coast. Appreciate the love, brother. Or no, wait. No, he gave us a like. All right. Sorry, Tony. I overreacted. I got the love from Jason, but thanks for the likes, Tony. So um, I thought they were both love, but whatever. It's okay. And then we switch to the scene where Boomer and Starbuck are adrift and they're saying, well, I mean, they're drifting. And he say, dude, we could spend another 30, 40 centons if we just drift. Like, okay, fine, let's go ahead and do that. And they do, because they're not willing to give up on their buddy, Captain Apollo. And then this is the moment where the girl says, you're different. And we need you to know that Marcos wants to kill you.
So this
They're
is where I
going
had
to
a physics question.
go.
Can you drift in space? Yes, their inertia would be carrying them.
Greg,
is
you're
it
making fun.
drifting?
You made fun of a guy who had no other word to use.
I'm not making fun of him.
No, you're making fun of my line of drifting. I had no other word to use.
I think what they said was chop their power.
Yep. And they were just.
Oh, so that wasn't the line. Okay, so
No, it was my line. Sorry.
Okay.
Creative license in reverse.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's like,
sorry. You're already a part of this. Cut it out. So the young lady's telling them wants to kill you.
This is how you are when we don't have Baltar here to keep you in line.
Oh, so Baltar? That Michael is Baltar?
No.
Oh, it Liz?
Lothcat.
She's Baltar?
Sure.
Yeah, I'm sorry Baltar couldn't make it.
You know what? If we had Starbuck in the original series being male, and then we had Starbuck as a female, I guess, Liz could be Baltar, I suppose. Sure.
There's something going around because I had it earlier in the week.
Well, Greg, I did have it myself in December.
Yeah.
And I'm barely getting. I still have the cough where I'll cough for 2-3 minutes, but I've had it for about 4 weeks now. I understand.
Well, I've had the thing. I've had the thing too. Yeah.
Trey, what do they?
It's half our pilots are done with it. They're in cryo.
Right? Yeah. God, who let these people back from the planet without going through decon?
I'm telling you, over here in California, they're calling it the 100-day cough because people had this in November and they've had it for 100 days.
Wow.
That's crazy. And I am doing much better.
As long as the Spanish-American War lasted.
Well, California. Right after that, the young lady explains to him, we found Red Eye in the mountains. He looked up by your command. And I guess Apollo realizes there will not be a tomorrow for him. So he's like, all right, that's fine. The kid already told me to go to hell anyway. He says he hates me. So what the heck? It was really cool how, people are starting to go home, whatever. What is that? And Apollo just goes straight for his horse. The burlap thing. And he puts it on behind the horse. We all knew what he was doing. We didn't have to see. And I got to admit that really looked good. And he comes around the horse, and you can see he has a Colonial blaster, which looks cool. And Lacerda's like, he snaps, and Red Eye comes right out. So
yeah, Marcos is sitting this one out now.
That's right. Yeah. He wanted to end Apollo, but he's not even going to get a chance for that. Bella realizes after Puppa says, I knew it, that he was going to do it. And her whole thing was, oh my God, not again. She figures she just saw it a few moments ago.
Yeah.
And she's remembering 9 yarns ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That another Colonial warrior is going to take this or try to take this guy out. And let me tell you, looking at it, I don't know, gentlemen. I don't want to give every scene. Greg, Trey, talk about it. Greg, I mean, he turns right around, and it is a flashback to our youth,
Oh yeah.
and you hear the music. Your thoughts, Greg?
Um, very few of these episodes I have remembered over the years to this much detail, and this was one of them. That I remembered the standoff, between
Yes.
Red Eye and Apollo, and and it might have actually been one of the only ones that I got to watch all the way to the end when I was a kid because it had horses in it. My mom liked horses. But this was one of the few that I remembered, and I remember this standoff, and I grew up watching westerns. My parents loved those old westerns, and it had that feel as a little kid, and it was done in that style really well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, didn't they have a close up of the Red Eye's hand, just opening and closing,
Yes.
ready to...
Yes. That's why I went to look up the director. It was like, this seemed like, like somebody who either loved these types of films or made these types of films.
Mm-hmm.
What I did appreciate was the Cylon twitching, I guess, practicing or reaching for the gun.
Who's gonna draw first?
And Apollo, his hand was just ever so. Was it resting, or did he have it just like right above the holster? Think about it. Was it? Did he have his hand on his holster?
Find out.
Interesting to think. I don't think he did. He was smooth. He was ready to go. His hand was just right there. I mean,
we set that up earlier in the episode that he was an incredibly fast draw.
Yeah, and Papa saw that.
Mm-hmm.
And he was. He's a colonial warrior. He's had to survive. He is fast. So, what are some of your additional thoughts on this, Trey?
It's the only time we hear a Cylon say, "Uh-oh."
Oh, yeah, that's right.
I didn't understand that, but he does say, "Oh," doesn't he?
Yep. When he sees the laser.
Oh, I went too fast.
Oh,
that's funny. Because I know he said something, but it didn't register. It's like, okay. Now looking back, yep, that's exactly what he said. Well, in my notes, Apollo flashes the blaster. She says, "Oh my God, not again." And my notes are duel. And it happens fast. They don't sit there, for like dramatic sense. They set it up. They're right there. The camera goes from each one's hand, and then the eye.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And he reaches for his gun, and Apollo just outdoes him. Bam, nails him, done. I thought I caught it the first time, and looking at it again, I'm like, I still see it. Once you've seen it, you've seen it. You guys know what I'm talking about? When the squib goes off, the Cylon throws the gun forward. I hope I'm not ruining it for you boys. You guys hadn't noticed that before?
No.
I may have ruined it for you guys now. I saw that the very first time. I've always remembered that, and seen it again. I'm like, oh yeah, he still throws the gun. I'm okay with it, man. It was awesome.
I was just enjoying the great pyrotechnic display of.
Oh man, when that Cylon, when he nailed him and the Cylon blew up, that was awesome, man. It was so cool. And he nails him, and Lacerda just says bye, and he runs out of town.
I think he gives a little tip of his hat, doesn't
he? Yeah, I think he does. Yes.
Yes.
And he's done. He's out, and then we go to the scene where again, Puppets is zap, doing it all over, and Apollo snaps a little bit. He does, and he tells him. He says, "You're awesome. You're his. What? You think I did this because I wanted to? You think I?" And
Oh, of
he's
course, when he snaps, he calls him Boxy. That's a good, nice little Freudian slip there.
yes. There was, you know, gentlemen, I am a Battlestar Galactica fan. I haven't seen it in a long time, and I mentioned this to you, right, Greg? Where, like, for the miniseries, the 1978 miniseries, the 3-part episode, where there is much more going on than I remember.
Right.
Like the whole thing of Cyrus Uri trying to get the, win the political game, and he's beating Adama, and I didn't remember that Adama was genuinely depressed
Yeah.
because he witnessed the destruction of the colonies. He didn't do enough to save everyone. He went to the planet, and he went to his house, burnt up, and he tells a story later of that woman that was snatched away. He doesn't know what happened. I didn't remember that as a kid, guys, growing up. Looking back and what you said earlier, Greg, there is depth to this series that
Oh
I'd
yeah, this
forgotten
wasn't
about.
just written for kids.
Right.
I am enjoying this look back. I cannot believe it. And for something that was cobbled, well, I guess things are different back then, but it was still done rather quickly. These stories are, man, guys, they have 48-minute run times. This is crazy. You can't get an episode that crosses 40 minutes.
Right.
And actually, it's 40 minutes with the titles. That's crazy.
Mm.
But anyway, okay. Let's see. He says, "I was scared, but I did what I had to do, just like you did with the lupus. And how did it make you feel and all that stuff?" And yes, I'd forgotten that he calls him Boxy. That's right. Because I know he does to Bella one time, but she realizes that he doesn't belong there. And she says, "You know what? I know where Martin's Viper is. Doesn't fly, but there might be fuel in it."
Yeah.
I thought she was beginning to like him. She likes the Colonial Warriors, but anyway, that's old and sexist. But before we know it, Boomer is talking to Starbuck, and Starbuck says, "Dude, let's drift for another centon." And then Boomer says, "Dude, that was 5 centons ago." I thought that was funny. Because I think Starbuck is the superior officer here, but Boomer's like, "Dude, come on, man.
And they're
We are
both
so
lieutenants, aren't they?
I think they are, yeah." So it was really cool how all of a sudden you start hearing Apollo's voice, and they're like, "Let's get the hell out of here. Let's get back." Now, the one thing which I thought was kind of sad is, now this is in hindsight, where they're out on the grass looking up to the stars,
Mm-hmm.
and he repeats it. Puppis does by saying he promised he would. He promised he would come back.
Yeah. It's a very nice thing they do, because they had set up this idea that Martin used to lie on the ground with Puppis looking up at the stars, and now we've got Vela and Puppis doing the same thing, and we dissolve to the star field, which supposedly is the one they're looking at, but then in comes the Galactica doing "Fleeing from the Cylon Tyranny." That's a nice little touch,
Yeah.
I thought, using the same star field.
Yes. Beamer, appreciate it, buddy. We appreciate when you tune in, and we're excited because there's going to be some other programming that's going to return, and looking forward to doing that as everything moves forward. I have a little bit of news that might irritate my compatriot here.
Oh, you
Principal
there.
photography for for Andor has finished.
Oh, they made a second season of Andor.
Oh, you knew they were making a second season.
Okay.
You're not a fan of Andor. Actually, no. I should correct that. You stated it just didn't do it for you because you
It-
saw Andor all the way through, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. So
for me,
I
it
just
had
needed to correct
issues.
that.
For me, it had issues.
Yes. That's why I was being a bit of a jerk right now. Oh yeah, the principal photography for Andor season 2. I'm a massive fan of Andor. Greg is not.
I like the
Greg is a
character.
massive
I like the
fan.
story idea. It just it. Uh, we'll talk about it then.
Greg is a massive fan of Obi-Wan. I am not.
I love it.
I like it, but that's why I love doing this program with you guys. So, what did you guys think of the episode overall? I don't know if you guys were doing the grades. I know we didn't do it for the original series.
Yeah,
I
we don't have
This
believe.
to
is the
do
original
grades.
series.
I'm sorry, I meant the miniseries for the 3-part. I don't think we gave it a grade. We've avoided grades for this one. But what did you
Yeah.
guys think of this episode overall? I have to tell you, gentlemen, I had memories on this one. I've remembered it my entire life. I remember when Apollo takes him out, man. It is always stuck in my mind. It was cool. I did appreciate this one. And looking back again, there's good stuff to this. Yes, it's 1978, ladies and gentlemen, but it's a good 48 minutes. I like it. I'm glad I'm having a chance to rewatch it. Greg?
It was one of the better of the series. For one of the standalone episodes, it was one of the better. I thought the writing was top notch. I mean, obviously, it was relying on the Western trope that so many sci-fi shows did. Right up through till Firefly mastered it, and it stood up for the most part as a story. The costuming was a little dated, but other than that, I thought it was probably one of their better ones that they put forward, especially early in the series, knowing that this was just going to be originally going to be like those Sunday night movie type stories.
Yeah, I think there were going to be 6 two-parters, and we did get them, the 6
We did
two-parters.
get them, yes.
Yes, but we got a whole bunch of other standalone episodes. And I can't wait till we get to the other standalone episodes. There's a very famous scene in one of them where Sheba saying, "Look carefully when we're all talking and we're all being very pensive. And if you look very carefully, we had just received the pages. So we are reading the pages that they were given to us." And I cannot wait till we get to that episode.
Oh
Sheba,
my
I
god, I gotta watch for that.
it's all us because she says, "Pay attention," and then some guys are looking up like this, and our script is right on the wall off camera, and it was really funny. I can't wait till we get to that. But anyway, so Trey,
I've
your
done that.
thoughts yes, yeah. Actually, you have. I mean, you've had the opportunity to see that done. So, Trey,
No,
your
I've
thoughts
actually
about it?
done that.
Okay, you have. All right. I tried
In
beating
fact,
it
I
up.
did that last week for Vance because I was having trouble memorizing the lines with everything going on in my life right now.
So, were you at a shoot this past weekend?
Remote shoot,
Oh, same difference. Sorry.
Combox stuff.
Post-facial. I mean, look at what we're doing right now. We're in studio. So,
Yes, my
uh,
my twin studio.
yeah. I
At
like
my
your
mom's
background, though.
house.
I do, Greg. That's an awesome background. Now, is that from the original series or the new series?
I don't know. I just looked up launch tube because I wanted the launch tube for
I
these two
think it's the
episodes.
newer one,
I don't
but
know.
I don't know.
If it is, it's very close to that's at least very close to the original.
They were
Actually,
very
that
close.
might be original now that yeah, you're right.
The
It's a-
reimagining, I thought, did a great job with making updating everything.
Yeah.
I just hope they don't call an alert while you're in there. Just listen for the klaxon and get
I'll
out of
just
the
lay
way.
down under the rails.
Yeah.
I just wish I rearranged a little bit better and used the desk chair tonight. So I'm like, oh, I'll sit on the bed right across from the TV. So if I have to reference anything.
Your thoughts, Trey, on The Lost Warrior?
Mine are the same as Greg's. Basically, one of the better standalone episodes. Had some good emotional scenes in it. Some good Old West action, if that's your thing. And yeah, I'm always growing in appreciation of Stu Phillips if he was paraphrasing the good, the bad, and the ugly there.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go back and listen to it, but I had forgotten the music, but being that I'm paying attention quite a bit more, wow. It was cool. This was neat, and I'm glad I'm having a chance to watch it. All right, fair enough. So I think it was a positive from all of us. I don't know if we have any additional comments in the chat room. We appreciate it. We know we have several people on Facebook for NDB Media, and we have Twitch as well for NDB Media. So, folks, let us know who you are and where you hail from. We'd love to hear from you guys. Well, the very next episode they debuted. So I guess if we do the Hollywood way of it's episodes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, we're now looking at lucky number 7, and this one was the Long Patrol. When I look back in the series prior to this look back, I didn't think the Long Patrol was this early on. I mean, it was obviously, but I thought it was a bit later in the series. But the Long Patrol, I didn't even remember the title, but when I see Starbuck dressed in that different uniform, I remembered Cora.
Hmm.
Yeah, I did like Cora. As we all know, Cora stands for Computer Oral Response Activated.
Yes.
Go ahead, Greg. Go ahead. I think you just figured it.
They just had fun with the cockpit in this one,
The
making it
cockpit.
with the practical effects. It was charming what they tried to do.
Quiet,
Yeah, I
please. I'm
remember being
scanning.
as a kid loving that idea, but like as an adult, and you see the 7 segment LED displays stuck in a breadboard behind a hole in the prop, it's like, okay, maybe our fan films don't look that
Actually, no, they don't.
bad.
But there's a scene in this thing where I think Adama says, go to flank speed, and they switch to the display, and oh my God, you could see that it was drawn and someone was pulling it through. And I'm like, oh my God, the special effects or the visual effects that I was so impressed with was done with something that I do. I use cardboard. All you had to do was just have a light on the background, and you could do that. That was impressive.
But it was one of the first ones where they like used like vector graphics.
Yes.
For
Let me
I mean, they
tell you,
reused it over and over again, but like most of those like radar type displays were you know some of them were flashing LED behind it or flashing light bulb behind a gel, but they had genuine CG
yes.
on some of these screens.
I don't know if you guys noticed it, but when we see the scanning system on Cora or the reconnaissance Viper, it's an early version of Dratus in the new series of Galactica because it had two, no, not ovals. I'm sorry, you guys are gonna have to help me out on this, but it has two sides to it, and it scans, up and down. It looked just like Dratus. I was really surprised by that. I don't know if it was accidental or someone just got inspiration, whatever, but I thought that I saw the Dratus right there. Aisha, thank you.
Hey, welcome, Aisha. Good morning.
The Galactica leads the fleet through a void of asteroid dust into another galaxy, leaving the galaxy in which the 12 colonies once existed. Amidst this, Lieutenant Starbuck has volunteered to test a new prototype Viper fitted for extended range reconnaissance. But before embarking on this mission, he takes Cassiopeia aboard the luxury ship, the Rising Star. Yes, yes. And we will get to that right now. Um, The guests were James Whitmore Jr. and Ted Gehring. It was written by Donald Belisario, who had teleplay credit on the last one, and directed by Christian I. Nyby the second, not Junior, the second. So, and just as Aisha said, because oh my God, it's like midnight over where she's at right now, or very early in the morning. I don't know which. Actually, no, I think
5 hours
it's
later, it's about
3 a.m. It's 3 a.m. Wow. Thank you, Aisha, for being here. Just as she said, exiting the asteroid field, and Starbuck volunteers for the new Viper Patrol. But, folks, the reason why he volunteers is because the list to get onto the Rising Star is yarns long, like about 100 yarns, I think they said. So, how do you jump to the top of the list? You test the new plane. All right.
without even knowing how it's kitted out.
Yeah, no kidding. But he's going to do it. He volunteers for the new Viper Patrol, and then we switch to the Rising Star. And good old Starbuck with his qubits, he gets a room, gets ambrosia, and everything is awesome. And then Cassiopeia steps out, and Athena shows up. That was funny. Now, in the scene before that, the Galactica received scanning reports that they did find possible life forms up ahead. So, yeah. So I guess Starbuck's going to fly this one much quicker. So Athena shows up, and then Starbuck gets another room, but this time it starts to cost him a lot more, which is really funny. But good old Starbuck, man. What do you guys think? I thought it was kind of funny. I don't think it was forced. I thought it was. Look, I guess his preference is Cassiopeia. I guess so. But he likes Athena as well. The lucky dog. Daggett. Thank you, Trey. I should get that right. And this is 1970s television where the guy is getting his way and everything. But looking back, it doesn't look dated to me. Just a quick
A
visit I got.
little. I mean, the wallpaper, the host's mustache is, for that era, the thin mustache.
Yeah.
But it was, they had the obligatory, mod-looking plastic chairs in the main dining room. I noted that. But I mean, the other thing that looked dated is that their rooms were dining rooms, like a private dining room, but they had a couch. Mind you, back then they were just starting to play with showing people together in the same bed on television, let alone, making out on a couch.
I wonder if it was here where my mother said, I don't want you to watch that. Why? It's for adults. Vipers and blasters are for adults, Mom. Again, as I said 20 minutes ago, there are things now I'm noticing on the second. I don't think at that age, I was 9 years old watching Battlestar Galactica. I didn't even get a lot of the stuff between Starbuck, Athena, Cassiopeia.
Right, kids don't.
I did a little.
I thought they were beautiful girls.
He was playing them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they had the waiter making out like a bandit.
Yes.
But he does compliment him. And he's like, what? He says, on your daring, sir. That was funny. That was actually cool. The guy's like, way to go, dude. Way to go.
Now that actor, I think I believe he was in My Fair Lady playing Rex Harrison's butler. His name John Holland or something like that.
Oh God! Every time I've opened IMDb tonight, it's like slowed down my feed here.
But he's a very English gentleman type character actor.
He seemed familiar when I was rewatching this last week.
Wow, in that same website, by your command, under
Back up here.
characters, they have absolutely everyone. I mean, they even had Cadet Cree from the upcoming episodes, where he says, "I'm from the Columbia. Columbia was destroyed." I thought that was cool. My gosh, they have everyone, so I'll be able to find him. Um, Adulteress 58 is played by genre character actress Arlene Martell, notably for her portrayal of Spock's wife T'Pring in Star Trek, the original series. Robert Hathaway portrayed the Enforcer, his father of Nora Hathaway, who plays Box.
Great trivia, Isha.
For messing around at 3:26 in the morning out there on the other side of the
And she
pond.
beat me to that Arian Martell reference.
Yes. I'm trying to find. Oh, there's President Adar. Loser. Hey, dude, he led the human race to its destruction. I don't like him. Oh, there's Count Iblis. They call him Iblis? I thought it was Count Ibli, but whatever.
It is. The S is silent. Silent S.
I do not find him there. Now, there's additional characters. Oh, do you know who I actually did like? I didn't even know his name, but he was on the Pegasus. Uh, Colonel Tolan. He played well, Colonel.
And Trey is correct. John Holland did appear in My Fair Lady.
Okay, he plays the maitre d'.
And was uncredited for the episode, according to IMDb.
Really?
Pretty big part for being uncredited, but I guess
Yeah,
that's the way it
man.
went. 70s TV. If you didn't, I guess if you didn't negotiate your credit, then. Oh, there he is.
Ladies and gentlemen from buyyourcommand.net, want to thank them for having this. Yeah, that mustache, yes. I thought he did very well, though.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
He was a good maitre d'. I liked his role in that. And he has a little smile on him, which is what really makes it good. This is not a very good image of it, but yes. And I think that's where he's telling him, I
Oh,
admire
yes.
you, Terry. Yes. Yeah.
So yeah, when
Not the mission, but the two ladies.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then you've got Athena and Cassiopeia walking down the corridors, about to bump into each other. The maitre d' is there, and he gets the hell out of Dodge
Mhm.
Yeah, well,
before the two of them
Trey,
meet up.
the moment you said that, here it is. Because Starbucks like,
Okay.
screw it. Leaves them all of the money on there to pay. And
Right.
here comes Athena. And yes, that was funny where they meet up in the hallway. That was really good. Starbucks with Athena. And the mushies. Oh,
No mushy, so no protein.
yeah.
Man, you gotta love that menu. Protein and mushies.
Yes.
Yeah.
One or
Yes.
the other.
Which the Daggett did like mushies as well, but what do I know? So they meet in the hall. But what was really cool about when they meet in the hall, they bump into each other, almost instantly realize who it is, and all they see are the flight pins. Oh God, that was funny. That was good stuff. I did like that.
Yeah.
Right after that, oh well, because we heard on the PA on the 1MC. That's the PA, not the 1MC. That's a name. That's a submarine term. Sorry. He's wearing a different uniform. He's called out. And then Apollo starts to tell him, yeah, dude, did you know it's got this? It's got this. He's, oh, wow, really? Yeah, and it's got this. And do you know that you know, they remove, but the ship isn't any bigger. Well, no, because they had the technology and they gave you more power, double your thrusters, double your range and everything. And I think they increased the computing power. Says, but how? He says, well, they removed the laser generator. He's like, oh, yeah, okay. Well, if you remove the laser generator, you're ready to launch. You don't have weapons. That was good. I mean, that one was done, but I did like that one. Oh, Aisha did add. I'm so sorry. Cora seems to have inspired Glenn A. Larson's Kit voice bars in Knight Rider. On the asteroid, the exterior of Robert's shuttle is the same exterior used to depict the Colonial shuttle in future episodes, notably the gun on Ice Planet Zero Part 1, Baltar's Escape. This episode was largely filmed prior to Lost Planet of the Gods Part 1, Lost Planet of the Gods Part 2, and The Last Warrior. The script and deleted trims show Cassiopeia still as a socialator. Ooh.
Instead of
right.
a med tech.
Yes, there's a little bit more to it. I appreciate the post, Aisha. This was good.
Can't have one of those running around the Galactica.
Did you guys? Oh, that's right. Did you guys see the name of, or the Viper has a name on it? Did you guys catch it?
I did, and I was actually looking for that freeze frame. Oh, did I write it down?
I did. Trey, you probably know what it is, and I've been giving all the answers. Do you recall the name, young man? I know you probably.
Star Chaser.
Yes, Star Chaser.
Yes, I did write it down, but I didn't put a context next to it.
That's all right.
Oh, I did write down that the helmet looked like a older football helmet, like
Yes.
from the 50s.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I like that it was different because he was undercover. But then again, ladies and gentlemen, a Colonial Viper is a Colonial Viper. That's like taking an F-14 Tomcat and wearing a chef's uniform. F-14 Tomcat, baby. But it's all right. I was all right with it. Whatever. In addition, the scene of Baltar and Lucifer is created from stock footage and voiceover dubs. The original script called for the Imperious leader in the scene getting the message from a Centurion. This was because at the time, the decision to retain Baltar for the series had not yet been made. Wow. I like that. Yes, because they had actually filmed a lot of stuff because they were doing these 2-part movies. But then they went to a series and they're like, we're screwed. But Glenn A. Larson, who'd already done multiple series, and a little bit of trivia, folks. Anyone can come up. I know Trey and Greg, so if they want to throw out any names, but before anything else, 10 seconds. Any series that you may remember of Glenn A. Larson. Because, folks, Glenn A. Larson, and forgive me, I'm old and sexist, this man's a stud when it came to television.
Fall Guy.
Bingo. There's one. Did he do Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea? No. Did he do Lost in Space?
Weren't those Irwin Allen shows?
Those were
Son of a wench. Oh, my God. Okay. Yeah, they are Irwin Allen. You're so right. Anyway, he did other stuff.
Magnum PI.
Now, there was a stud, Irwin Allen.
Knight Riders was mentioned.
Yeah, and he passed away in 2014. I remember that. I was saddened by that. McLeod, Magnum PI, Quincy ME, of course, Battlestar Galactica. My goodness, as a writer, what did he not write on?
Fall Guy.
Yeah, as mentioned, yes. McLeod. Wow. Nominated for 3 Primetime Emmys. Primetime Emmys, he has 4 wins and 7 nominations total. Wow.
Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew Mysteries.
Ah, yes.
As a writer, he has 65 writing credits. As a producer, 59. The Highwayman, Smoking the Bandit, The Fall Guy you mentioned, Knight Rider, In Like Flynn, Half Nelson, Cover Up, Masquerade, Automan, Trauma Center, Manimal. Oh, I can't believe it. I didn't know Quincy ran for 148 episodes.
Yeah.
And apparently he has a production credit on 1 episode of Simon and Simon. That's cool. BJ and the Bear, 47 episodes. The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo. Oh, my God. He also had Buck Rogers in the 25th Century.
Of course.
Production credit, yeah. And, of course, Galactica 1980.
We don't talk about that.
We will one night.
Yeah,
One night.
yeah. Aisha adds Elias Smith and Jones, Battlestar like the Buck Rogers in the 25th century, The Misadventures of Sheriff Lobo, Quincy Emmy. Yes, thank you. Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew mysteries. Yep. Yeah, a lot of stuff. He also has writing credit and producing credit on the new series of Battlestar.
Yeah, like consulting producer early on.
Yeah, they gave him for the miniseries for the 2 episodes. Razor, he had it as well. So I don't know if it's created by, created by the 74 episodes created by, and he had 18 episodes of Caprica, creator, Blood and Chrome. Wow. Hawaii 5-0. He has.
No, he was adventure television for
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't believe I insulted Irwin Allen, though. That was a mistake on my part. But all right. Fair enough.
I wouldn't say that was an insult.
Well, I gave Irwin Allen's credit to Glenn A. Larson.
But maybe Alan inspired Larson.
Could very well be. Yes. Starbucks line. And apparently Cora is then activated shortly thereafter. And it says computer oral response activated. I loved early on, as you mentioned, the interplay between the two. I love when she's quiet, please. I'm scanning. But she says it with an attitude. She was quiet, please. I'm scanning. I did enjoy that.
I got a kick out of it rewatching it as an adult because it reminded me of when they changed in one of the animated Star Treks. They made the computer voice a lot more personable, and it was like really sultry sounding.
Yeah.
That's what that made me think of.
Hey guys, who has the voice credit for Cora in this episode? There's a bit of trivia. I don't know who it is. I'm not trying to be smart about it. I did like that voice.
I don't think she was credited on screen.
No
and
way.
Her name's not coming to me.
I gotta go down to the bottom here.
That's a bummer, man.
I'm sure IMDb will have it.
Am I on the episode?
I'm on the long patrol of By Your Command. There's a lot of images.
Kathy Payne.
There you go.
She's still alive.
At a glance.
Please spell her last name.
Character actress. Paine.
Kathy, as in Cathey.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So, character actress. A lot of single episodes.
She has 24. She was in Cora, voice uncredited.
2 episodes of Helter Skelter.
That's so
for those of us that remember that.
She did the computer voice on Raphael Argus' ship in Buck Rogers in the 25th century.
Yeah, it was not uncommon at all in the 70s for voice actors to be uncredited. Look at James Earl Jones in Star Wars.
What a crime, huh?
I guess it was a union rules thing, wasn't it?
Well, they definitely have it now. So she was in 5 episodes of the CBS Afternoon Playhouse, playing Ellen Gibbs. Is there a picture of? Nope, there's no picture of her.
No.
Oh wow. Ronnie Cox was in that. Wow. We interviewed Ronnie Cox. He was cool, man. He was all right. That he's a nice gentleman. He really gives his time as well. But anyway, apologize, way off track.
I've got the Hardy Boys Nancy Drew theme song in my head, which Glenn Larson wrote.
Really? I don't recall that one. So
Dum dum da dum dum da dum da 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 da. Yeah.
no, it must be the drugs. I don't
Okay.
can't see it.
Thank
I
you,
All
can't.
right.
Trey. Now I'm
Fair
gonna
enough.
go and look it up. Monday.
I'm gonna have to look it up myself. So right after this, Starbuck lands on the planet because of that guy or whatever, and he finds 500-year-old ambrosia. Wow.
Well,
And
did they
apparently,
also mention like the freighter and the fighter were from the 6th millennium?
yeah,
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
were really old.
yeah. And then of course he gets the jump on Starbuck or the crowbar on Starbuck. I don't know, whatever it was.
Yep. And his name was Robert. Not
Yeah,
Robert, but Robert.
robber. Yes.
Which we later learn why.
Yes. And then the Galactica discovers a transmission. It's coded, but in some arcane code. And then a little bit later, we get the scene which Aisha was talking about, where Baltar and Lucifer, the voiceover, where it says, "We're detecting a coded message," and he says, "Up, send the Cylons." And sure enough, and then we have the scene shortly thereafter where they're like, "Hey, this guy's transmitting out in the open. We got to stop him." And Boomer and Apollo are sent
Yep.
to
It's
take out
funny.
Recon One.
It's funny we get just this one little scene of Baltar, and in broadcast order, that is our first clue that he actually survived, that he got out of the tomb on Kobol. That's the last place we saw him, trapped under that.
Oh yeah, we don't know how
That's
he got
right.
out.
That's right.
So it's very understated. It's like, oop, oh well, there he is. He must not have died.
Now there's a surprise when he shows up later, and I think that this ruins it. You're right, Trey. It actually does because he makes a major surprise a little bit later. And wow,
Whoops.
yeah, it is understated. Yeah, but when you're going back and editing the series, I told you guys that uh, in one of the episodes, Rekha Sharma, who we interviewed, she played Troy in the new series. I asked her about the scene at the very end of Exodus Part 2, where she is talking about that they don't have Maya, the baby. She told us that that was in another episode and they had already filmed it, but they moved it to the end of Exodus Part 2 when she and the president are like, everyone got off New Caprica, but they can't find Maya. And that scene was supposed to be later in another episode, but the way they changed things around, it was moved up. I said, and it was very specific. She said, she goes, "Oh no, that was supposed to be in this episode." That was really cool. That is not out in the open. Not a lot of people know that. It's kind of neat.
Mm.
We're not the only ones that knew that. I'm just saying that part was not very common. But I jump ahead. So yeah, they move things around all the time. So they launched the fighters to investigate. The Cylons did, and then Apollo and Boomer are ordered to take it out. And then Starbuck pulls off a Han Solo and gets the shuttle going. And then right away, that wannabe Viper is still in orbit and says, "Don't flinch, dude. I understand your name is Starbuck or whatever, but you're not Robber. But don't deviate. Follow me. Follow me. Who the hell does that? But okay, whatever. 1978 television. And then I guess he lands on the planet, and it was kind of funny. This is a Starbuck that we see. He's like, "Man, I'm not the guy. I'm Starbuck, and I'm just transferring this stuff." And I'm like, "Dude, why did you even tell them that lie that you're transferring agricultural equipment?" They went up there and you had ambrosia, and they broke the bottles. And I thought his line was good. Guys, want to swing a deal? That was cool
That
because
was
shortly
Starbuck.
thereafter, we then see Cassiopeia and Athena settle the hatchet for the time being, where they're like, Athena says, I need to tell you of what's going on about Starbuck. And I love it where that's where Cassiopeia says, "That's an old Aryan merchant code. My dad taught me that." So she contributes to what it is, and they get an idea. And they knew there was an issue because Ares is in Cylon hands. That's where Adama orders, "Stop the attack, stop the attack." And Apollo's like, "Oh my God, order, belay orders." So, uh,
Yeah, I think Apollo's got his thumb on the fire button, hasn't he? When they
yeah.
when they countermand the order.
As a matter of fact, I did jump ahead a little bit where Starbuck is arrested and then he wakes up in Proteus prison. And what is
With
his
T'Pring.
line? I'm sorry?
Always lying. Twice in one day, it's not fair.
Yes, twice
Yeah.
in one day. And he's mad. He's like, "Oh, man, twice in one day." And then he discovers that they're all original sinners. They're like, "What? What are you talking about?" "Yes, we didn't commit the crimes. Our kin did." But they then ask him, "How is the war against the Alliance?" And I'm like, "The Eastern Alliance?" No. No, no, it was the Alliance, the Cylons. And they're starting to chant, "Please tell us about the war. Death to the Cylons, death to the Cylons." I'm like, geez. That was actually kind of funny. And again, now looking back, seeing what happens, wow. So after she figures out the code, Ares is in Cylon hands. Apollo and Boomer chase the human, and then the Cylons are near, 3 of them. That's where we saw that little display. And Adama orders flank speed away so they don't get detected. Did you guys notice that Boxy asked? Oh, do you know what was cool? Is I hadn't seen that. Adama is in the chair where Omega usually is. And Omega was off day shift, and Odama was working the computer and stuff. I thought that was kind of cool when you see the main guy manning the station. I mean, obviously it was to his own, he was trying to figure something out, but I thought that was cool. And then Boxy shows up, and they go through the whole thing. He says, "You want me to tell you a story?" "Yeah, come on, young man, sit on my lap." And he says, "Tell me about Earth." We immediately switch to the prison. And did you notice that he was looking at the star system?
Yep.
Yeah, good cut.
And the third planet, though not blue, did look green or something. And I thought it was good. So, does Starbucks see Earth? So he starts to meet everyone, but they give him a name. "Your name is, I'm Starbuck." "Well, what's Starbuckian about that?" "No, Starbuck, that's my name." "Yeah, so what's your crime?" The people that are in there don't understand what Starbuck is. What's the crime?
Yep.
What is Starbucking?
Yeah, that was kind of funny. As a kid, guys, I missed that. I didn't
I
get
did
that back
too.
then. There's more to this. And then they said, "Yeah, you're not one of the guards." Says, "You are bootlegger 187." That was funny.
Take your license plate and your bottle.
Yep. And it's funny, they're all getting ambrosia, which is really funny. And I think it was a little bit before or right there where they explained to him, "Yeah, dude, we used to do munitions until we ran out of munitions, but now we just do ambrosia. We're supporting the cause. That's the Cylons." And then it was at that moment where the guard is yelling at him, and then I guess the door eases forward. Like, what? What the hell? And they're like, "No, no, don't do that. Don't do that."
Go back,
Like,
go back.
"What are you talking about?" "Oh, it's the way things are."
Doors haven't worked in generations.
Yeah. Yeah.
But somehow were able to make other generations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Adulterous 58 certainly had the look.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was their number, right? Adulterous 58.
Something like that.
That would have been funny. Had she
Aisha
been.
noted it earlier with the trivia. Yeah,
Oh my
Adulterous
God, that's
58.
right. She did say that. Adulterous 58 is played by genre character actress Arlene Martell.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's
Credited as
right.
Tasha Martell.
You were gone, and there was Ston.
Oh, that's funny. Yes, I like it. So, what else did you guys have on this episode? Please help me out because I think I got a. I must have done something to the rest of my note. Oh, sorry, Greg. Episode 1. Those are my notes, 2 pages. Okay, I just see some like a white page. Here is the episode that we're talking about right now. Trey, just because it got in the chat room, we kind of made fun of sizes and stuff. I brag about how many pages of notes I have. I do scene by scene, conversation by conversation. So this is 3 notes, but I cannot find my 4th page of notes. I don't know what I did to them right now. So,
Hmm.
can you help me out on finishing up this episode?
So
Well,
yeah, well, Starbuck, I mean, tries to convince the people that the Ambrosia's just sitting there, and the war's been over for what 700 yarns, and
Yeah.
and that they're like, no, it can't be, and it's like these people are so timid, and God knows where their gumption is that they won't even open a unlocked cell door.
Yeah.
But they're apparently their only source of nourishment's ancient ambrosia.
but they don't give them the good stuff, remember?
No, only a couple hundred yarns.
Yeah,
old.
yeah.
Not the 500 yarn old stuff that
Mhm.
was on the shuttle. But
Oh,
it's
yeah.
all on the loading dock, and it's like, no, it can't be. So they finally get it up there, and they're like overwhelming the guards. The guards don't know what to do. Nobody's put up a fight. Obviously the guards have been making more guards somehow. So
Yeah, the two-tiered society. The guards and the
Yes.
prisoners.
Yes. But so I mean, eventually, the Cylons show up, right?
Yeah. Let's see. First, I guess the Vipers show up first, right? And the Cylons right behind them.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because doesn't it happen that just right after this, they're following Recon 1 and they get the orders to break off. They land and they follow them. And don't they they get into a little bit of a shootout in the city, whatever, but then when the guy Robber was going to kill Apollo, he hears Boomer say, "Hey, I found a woman and a child." He's like, "Hey, sorry, don't do anything to them. Do whatever you want to me, but don't do anything to them."
Right.
And I think they just hit it off right away because in the next scene, I forget what happens in between. They're talking it through, and Apollo and Boomer are learning quite a bit about what's going on.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
See, I saw it. I just didn't write. I don't know where my notes are.
He escaped so little Tanya wouldn't have to grow up in the prison.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes.
And Robber's wife, Slayer.
That's right.
Into each generation, a Slayer is born.
Yep. That's funny.
And what was that
Rewatched
actress? I want to say that actress was married to Larry Manetti. Am I wrong about that? What was her name? Nancy DeCarl or something like that.
Oh, you've got me on that one. That one I don't know.
Yes, she is married to Larry Manetti, and they have one child.
Ooh.
So Larry Manetti apparently was also in a Battlestar Galactica episode.
Well, we just talked about him in the last one.
Yeah.
I didn't know that they were married. Wow. Yeah, I missed that.
It's all one big happy Glenn Larson family.
Or to quote Ricardo Montalban, "We are all one big happy fleet." Oh man.
Yeah,
No,
there's a
of
lot of the
course.
Universal Studios shared a lot of these contract actors between shows.
You know, Trey, I had commented to my compatriots that because of Battlestar Galactica, I understood growing up what they would call an in joke. Many people call them homages now. Greg remembers this because we've talked about this for years, but I mentioned it in the miniseries where I had the image face. You remember this scene, right? In the A Team,
Mm-hmm.
they're at Universal Studios. And I got it. I understood it back then, where he's just there watching, and the Cylons walk by,
Right.
and he's like, "Nah." I thought that was awesome. I mean, you had to have seen him in Battlestar Galactica, which I mean, many people did, and I got it. I got the joke.
Oh
It
yeah,
was, it was
probably one of
so
the
well done.
first references for us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was funny. It was an acknowledgement because they were so close to each other. I love Dirk Bennett. He's just like, nah.
Yeah.
It's great, man. Oh my God. And it's, you know, I've told Greg that I appreciate the writing staff. I appreciate the production staff when they do things like that. When they're acknowledging the audience and they're like, yeah, we think about it too, which is so cool. And that was one of the first ones I ever caught. And after that, I started paying attention more and more, and I would see these things. Did you guys catch the subtle reference? This is way off base now. The subtle reference in the time machine. The main guy, I forget his name. He played Exley in L.A. Confidential. Have you seen both movies? The Time Machine and L.A. Confidential.
Nope.
Which version of the time machine?
The Time Machine that was within the last 20 years, the most recent one.
No.
Okay,
I don't remember it.
fair enough.
I
In
saw it in
LA
the theater.
Confidential.
It wasn't that great. I never rewatched.
Okay, yeah. I forget the name of the character. He's done a few things, but in the Time Machine, he walks into okay. In LA Confidential, there's a ring of women that look like Hollywood starlets, and it's called Fleur de Lis. Okay, all of a sudden, he in the Time Machine is going to a flower shop, and he's like, "Is this the right one?" And he looks up the exact same spelling from the business card or the style and everything. It's Fleur de Lis. I was like, man, that's kind of sophisticated because I had just seen the movie before. I saw the business card and the way it looked up on top. Man, that was hardcore.
Interesting.
Actually do it the same way. It's just one of the little things I caught. But you see, I'm out of control. I catch those little things now. So,
Well,
uh,
anyway,
yeah, I know. I'm
so
sorry, guys.
Starbuck gets back with Cora,
Yes.
and they fight off the Cylons, but
Yep.
in the process,
Yes.
all the ambrosia gets blown up.
Yeah. Damn.
There goes his fortune.
Yeah.
And I don't know how they got away with this for all 20 plus episodes, but oh frack.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, it's what they do in movies when they swear in another language.
Yeah. Like Firefly using Chinese.
Oh yeah. Do they
Zorro.
bleep that when it's shown in Taiwan?
Yeah.
That's a good question.
I don't think they do. Well, no, actually, culturally they may, unless they put the rating on there. But Hollywood's done that for years. I remember
Or
in
they're literal translations of things that aren't really in
oh right,
swears in Chinese,
yeah.
in Mandarin or was it Mandarin or Cantonese that they were? I don't remember.
Well, you know, it's funny that in China they speak Chinese. It's only in the West that we say Mandarin or Cantonese or whatever. I was like, oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I was trying to be sensitive and understanding that there were dialects. Like, it's Chinese. Sorry.
Well, the written language is all the same.
Okay,
Well,
be
I
careful.
mean,
Okay, be careful how you say that, Greg. So are you telling me that the language looks the same? They all look the same?
No, I'm saying that the Chinese characters in the north are the same Chinese characters in the south. Most of them.
kanji, is that the?
You're right. Yes.
I don't remember what it's called. And
Yeah. Well, I guess it's
Oh,
like
yeah,
the situation.
one of my colleagues was explaining that to me. But some of the words mean different. The spoken words can mean different things, and different symbols can have different spoken words.
It may be like the situation Europe was in around the 8th century, I guess, when the Romance languages were still developing. You go to people in Spain, France, Italy, whatever, they'd all tell you they were speaking Latin, but they had really diverged into separate
yeah.
languages. They just didn't know it yet.
No, you're right.
Yeah, because they probably would have brought in the different local language, the different old Gaelics from Western Europe. Just like the Greek origins and some of the lower Russian dialects and the written language.
Anyway, that's a digression.
I was always fascinated by all that.
Trey, sorry,
Knowing the
when I'm
computers
here,
and stuff.
unfortunately, this is what we do. I'm the one to blame.
That's
And
We
okay.
should rename I was telling Michael the other day on the phone that we should rebrand NDB Media to ADD Media.
I'm not prepared to argue that. That's funny, dude. That is funny.
I will have you know you did not watch last week's. In your absence,
No, I did not. I admit that.
to your honor, Michael took us off topic a couple times.
Aw. Thank you, Greg. I'm having an intellectual Woody. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes, Trey. Yes, I actually said.
Yeah.
Sorry. He's like, oh my god, I'm out of here. Okay, no, I do. Greg's heard me say that one when there's really something that can like, ooh, I'm having an intellectual Woody, and people are like,
Oh, so you
yes.
said it twice.
I did. I'm sorry. I did. I crossed the line there.
YouTube
The episode, The Long Patrol.
is going to be all over us.
Yeah, I don't think they get it. Do you know, guys, I've noticed that we who use the highfalutin language, do you notice that none of us ever get in trouble on Facebook for our language? Have you ever been put on a timeout, Greg?
No.
No. Trey, have you?
No.
I've never. But I hear everyone say, oh, I posted something and I got banned. Said, well, when the one speaks in the vernacular, yes. People don't get it when I say that. I'm like, all right, that's fine. I'm going to live in my world. So it's all good. I'm having an arrogant moment here. I apologize. Gentlemen.
Most people I know get their posts pulled for, stuff that's completely bonkers, wrong, or they're.
Oh, you mean like shoot the skunk?
or it's that gets flagged for being offensive to somebody.
I'm shocked that I've never had a post. Greg, knowing you knowing me as you do, I'm surprised I've never been flagged.
I don't publicly put up the more sensitive stuff, but I know people that do, and they don't get in trouble.
Well, no, what I mean is my comments.
I mean, they might get in trouble 8 or 10 years later. And the algorithm finds some old thing.
Well, most of the time, anything I say or comment is either veiled innuendo or a double entendre.
Yeah, but then also, Greg, I've been noticing the posts over the last few years. Dude, you're actually a decent guy. I, on the other hand, am not. I will give my commentary. I have no filter. And I'm stunned that I've never been flagged yet. Not that I'm looking forward to it.
We have a corporate policy about social media use.
Oh, yeah. I think we do as well, but I'm detached.
You know, I
NDB
think
Media actually, I'm sorry, Trey. NDB Media actually does have a policy as well. And do you know what it comes down to? Seriously, every host, I haven't had a chance to speak to Trey. He's an invited guest, but and I don't think it's that obvious, but there's just one thing that I will not tolerate. If I detect it, I give the host or whoever's in the chat room that one warning. But if it's so bad, I'm just like, dude, that's not an accident. You're out of here. You're blocked or whatever. And I think I know what everyone is. Genuine hate.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Greg knows that. It's if I detect hate for hate's sake. Sorry, Khan, I can't get away from you. But no, guys, seriously, if you're, it's one thing to be mad. It's one thing to be angry. We all do that. I never ever tell anyone. But when I detect hate, I'll tell them, dude, you crossed the line, or dudette. Or if it's really that bad, I just say, thanks for playing. Go somewhere else. That's the one thing that I have no tolerance for is just genuine hatred. So, sorry, didn't mean to
fair
go off on
enough.
a tangent on that one. Yeah. It's stuff we're doing tonight. It's harmless, folks. Battlestar Galactica. It's not like we're talking about the destruction of the human race or anything.
And I think well, yeah, we are. But
Liberal use of crap.
I like that, Trey. You're like, yeah, we are. That was good. Sorry, Greg. What were you gonna say?
Alcohol, smoking,
Yeah.
kids with guns,
Yeah. You know
kids at
what?
a table playing cards.
Yeah, that's
gambling.
right. Hey, guys.
58 generations of adulteresses.
58 generations of adulteresses, and apparently she must be the mother of all the other people. Her forebears must have been the mothers. And what do you do if you have a generation of an adulteress that's a male?
Yeah. What do you
Adulterer.
do? Yeah. You know, they must really be a lot of them like in the exercise yard or whatever, you know. So the
Ladies and gentlemen, we need some fan fiction to resolve this.
No, we don't. No, we don't. I can't
Oh my
remember.
God,
the
I got
whole
a great
number,
laugh
but
out of
there is
Greg
a
on that
rule
one.
out there.
All right. In addition to the hatred, no hatred, no fan fiction on the long patrol. At least
You
as
know,
far as we're concerned. Go
I
ahead.
think
Wow.
we've only got one scene left and we'll be
Yes.
through this episode.
Yes. I was trying to get to it right now. Go for it, please.
Oh well, we just got past the frack. Oh man.
So we're back on the Galactica, right?
So we are back on the Galactica.
And we've got Robert and family having dinner on the Rising Star at Adama's table.
Yes.
And they're complaining vociferously about the quality of the ambrosia.
Yes.
That
So
was
apparently you can be a prisoner and get really good stuff, but if you're a refugee, forget it.
Yeah.
yeah.
And we get Boxy's hand-drawn map that gets passed around. Right.
Yeah, that's the part that I was trying to remember. That was cool because as Adama was telling Boxy apparently more about the story of Earth than we got to see.
Mm-hmm.
And then Boxy drew a map of the solar system based on the stories. So, and then, I love that. Because this is where, I would hope the whole series did more of this as they were going through it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, Starbucks like, oh my God, I remember this. It was drawn on the wall in my cell or whatever.
Yes.
And then Robert was like, oh, yeah, that was the quiet guy or something.
The silent one.
The silent one, that's right. Who did all those pictures. And it's like, it made them feel like they were, like Adama, feel like he was on the right track or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
But obviously, they're still within That was the other thing. They kept talking about different galaxies when I think they meant star systems, but
It was all interchangeable to them. I think
Yeah.
astronomy was not their thing.
Yeah, well, we mentioned it earlier. I think it definitely wasn't their theme, but they were loose with all the other stuff too. We talked about the RNs, hell, we
Yeah,
talked about centons and microns. And remember, there were times when I felt that was interchangeable, and that would
yeah,
annoy me to no end. I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. That's distance.
yeah.
You're using it as some time thing now. But you know what? It was all good.
yeah.
Um, what did you guys think of the episode?
Nah. I mean, obviously,
Oh my God.
obviously, I've seen this one at least 3 times now, or all of it twice, and most of it 3 times, over the 40 plus years, and it's not memorable, really, except for the little, oh yeah, Cora. That's kind of looks like Kit, and they had that. So I do. Once Aisha said it, I remember the episode about Battlestar Galactica, and
Yeah.
it was, there wasn't a lot. Remember, I didn't remember that green velour onesie that Starbuck wore. And things like that. But we also had black and white television then too.
Yeah, I didn't remember it either until I saw this episode.
So it didn't stand out for me. So it was like watching it for the first time again.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Trey, go for it.
I would give it a few points for the kind of cool Star Trek-ish concept of multiple generations of prisoners and guards on an isolated planet, but I'd put it probably in the bottom half of episodes. It's not great. It's kind of fun at times, but yeah, if I were doing like the Trek Geeks podcast when they do see it or skip it, this would be a skip it.
Yeah, gentlemen, I acquiesce to everything you say. I yeah, I think I commented earlier that I didn't equate the the long patrol with this episode of Korra. It didn't match for me. I enjoyed absolutely everything about Korra. I enjoyed the interchange of Starbuck. I liked how Starbuck had quite a bit to do. Again, there is actually a lot of humor. It's subtle. It's not slapstick in your face. This is almost real humor. This is what some of us could say if we were in those spots.
Well, it was
Mhm.
also the first episode to focus on him too.
Yes.
So it. I don't know if it
Yeah.
necessarily developed his character, but it reinforced his character development
Mhm.
from the earlier episodes.
Yeah.
It really is the first breakaway Starbuck episode. There's something to like about every episode. Don't get me wrong. There are ones that I like less than this one. So yeah, I wouldn't skip any of them.
Yeah, I wouldn't either, but I think Trey, you mentioned it was in the lower half of the episodes. And Greg, you mentioned meh. Overall, yes. I agree with you, gentlemen. This is not it's not a standout. It has a few moments that we can look back on and say that was funny, that was cool. The highlight still is Cora. I do. I remember the family. My family got a kick out of the exchange between Starbuck and Cora. It was really well done. So, yeah, it's okay. It's just there.
Yeah, so we had a sentient spaceship.
Yeah. And the one thing I disliked about it is that was it. It was a one time.
Mm-hmm.
She was done. We didn't see Cora again.
Yep. No more
Yeah.
Star Chaser.
Yeah, because the ship wasn't destroyed, right?
No.
Right.
No. So, it's okay. I was still all right with it.
Didn't have lasers though, so
No, but it was faster and it had a longer range. So maybe it was on the Eternal Patrol That's why we never saw it again.
Yes.
Yeah, it could
I
very
did
well.
like though that when they reimagined the new stealth ship in the reimagined series, that it looked different and it reflected modern stealth technology with the Dratus absorbing materials and sharp angles and stuff.
You know, gentlemen, Trey doesn't know this. Greg, to a lesser extent, I don't think he knows it either. But on our sports program, the guys, well, no, I mean what I'm about to say, sir. No, no, I know you guys know a lot, but I am not one for woulda, coulda, shoulda. I hate that conversation. I think those are a waste of time. What would a second season of Battlestar Galactica have been? I don't waste time on it, but doing this rewatch, I have caught myself saying, could you imagine if they actually had a full year to prepare? Because at heart, Glenn A. Larson built a nice universe, and there was a lot more. Instead, we got Galactica 1980. But I wonder what would have happened, what could have happened had they actually been given a full year that they could plan out and do.
Yeah. If only ABC could have waited one more year and done a few TV movies, exactly like they did with the $6 Million Man. That started out as 3 TV movies spaced out, and then they developed the series. That would
Yeah,
have
but
been
you didn't need standing sets for $6 Million Man.
no.
I mean,
That's
big
true.
standing sets.
That's true. But if they had gone with that plan, they would have had the standing sets anyway.
Yeah, Battlestar Galactica cost the most money at the time, about $1 million per episode. That was an ungodly sum of money. I mean, you
Right.
could have movies filmed for less than that.
All banked on the success of Star Wars.
Well,
Mm,
the numbers of the miniseries blew them away. That was the thing. So many people saw the 3 hour miniseries.
There wasn't a lot else on.
No,
Well,
but
let's
it
see. What
actually
do they
was.
put up against? I think CBS put the Emmys up against the premiere, and I think NBC was showing maybe the second half of King Kong, the 1976 King Kong network premiere.
Really? That's what was against Battlestar Galactica?
Yeah, and it still won the time slot.
And it was handily, right? I mean, their
Oh
numbers
yeah.
were, yeah, well, again, that's why they went to series. It was
Well,
that
I mean,
good.
they couldn't have made the decision that late because they already had the trailers for next week's episode at the end of the Sunday night movie. I mean, they must have made the decision sometime during the
It must have screened
spring or
really
summer, after the Canadian test screenings.
Yeah. It's one where I wish that's the only time that I'll actually spend time and say, man, I wonder how he could have continued the story. Because
Right.
when Battlestar Galactica or Galactica 1980, I was absolutely revolt. I had never.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
I
all
remember being 12 years old, 12 or 13 years old, and thinking it was awful.
yes.
Yes. Yeah. Um, I, I don't know what you guys remember of that, but I do remember when they were playing baseball, and one of the kids, he did the math, and he says, "Oh, this is easy," and bam, hits that gargantuan home run and all that stuff, and it's just like, dude, come on. I like the concept that they're fleeing the Cylon tyranny, they're trying to get to their brothers, and oh crap, they're not as sophisticated. That concept was all right, but that was it. That was it. There was just
When
Yeah,
nothing.
they
but
brought in,
socially, we should have been comparable. Technologically, we weren't, but socially, we should have been comparable.
Trey, you were gonna say?
oh, when they brought in the kids, the Super Scouts, that's just that just ruined the whole. What was good about the show kind of went down the tubes then, and there wasn't much good about it. But making it into a kids show was what they did, but I don't want to dwell on Galactica
I
1980
know. I'm
before its
sorry.
time.
Yes. Or well, is that revisionist history because it already had its time and it's
Well, yeah, I mean the time before we have to talk about it.
yeah. Look. All kidding aside, Greg and I had not determined how many episodes we were going to do. We thought maybe we'd end up doing 4 episodes per episode, or we would do 2. But there's no way we're going to do 1 unless a particular episode called for it, folks. I'm sorry to say, but the Living Legend. That's gonna be that's gonna be 1. I mean, come on.
Well,
And
it's 2 parts.
yeah, it is
Yeah,
2 parts,
and the next time we get together will be the Gun on Ice Planet Zero,
which is a 2 part. Yeah.
which is a two-parter.
Yeah.
We should probably do some planning so we can either stay on 2 or 3 a week or a show, so that we make sure we focus on the two-parters like Living Legend,
Right.
and not
Yeah.
split that across weeks.
Yeah, that would not be good. All right, we'll go ahead. So Trey, this is your second week with us. Did you want to stay on with us?
Sure.
Okay.
If if subject to availability.
Understood, of course. Yes, because this is the first one that Lothcat misses.
Yeah.
Missed. Yeah, she's been a major contributor, so that is cool.
Well,
I
when
missed her
Trey
today.
revealed his Battlestar Galactica knowledge, I'm like, oh, we got to get this guy in here.
Well, what can I say? It's an obsession.
Let me tell you, when we did the
I
first,
mean, oh, sorry.
no, go ahead.
I appreciated the show. I loved the show as a kid, but I mean, I do not know it as well as this guy down here.
No, and I'm going over. And I mentioned earlier, I said, man, I forgot some of this. I have not seen Battlestar Galactica in a decade minimum, if not more.
Easily, yeah.
And like I said, in 2019, I was planning to do a rewatch. So I've been trying to get this going off the ground, and it just lots of things were happening, a lot of other stuff, and then what did I ask you to join me for, Greg? It was a particular series I wanted to review, and I asked you to be my wingman on. Do you remember what it was last year? Because we've been doing so much now, buddy.
Strange New Worlds, Ahsoka. What was the first one? Was it Strange New Worlds that came on
It
for?
might have been Strange New Worlds. Yeah, yes, it was, because I remember you and I, just the two of us, we did season 1 on 1 episode.
That's
I
right.
remember that.
We did the look back. Yeah.
We did the look back, and we were just going off our notes, and I was really happy in how that one turned out. I told Greg, let's see what we do. Maybe we'll do whatever. And Greg goes, all right, let's go for it. Let's do it. Damn, we did the whole entire season, and it was good. And then we went right into it. It was Strange New Worlds. Yes.
And then I invited myself to Ahsoka and this. You're not getting rid of me.
Did you also do Lower Decks?
Yeah, we did Lower Decks. I was part of that.
Actually, there's been quite a bit. Now, by the way, down the road, I also I have only seen the series once all the way through. That's Breaking Bad. Have you guys seen Breaking Bad?
My wife and son have. I have not.
Trey, have you?
Yeah, I have not either.
Oh my God, gentlemen.
I've seen a few of the episodes.
I will invite. Look, someone stated that this is the greatest television series of all time. No, but there is argument for it. I'll never call it the greatest because there's so much that came before it. And television programs are creations of their time. And it just is what it is.
It was good. It was a unique premise.
But this was a story that built on and built on. And something that happened in episode 3 it would be revisited in season 4. Whatever. Oh my! It was a rich history. I have not seen Breaking Bad since its primetime run, and I'm going to be wanting to do that soon. It'd probably be within the next year or so. But anyway, that's one of my hopes, and we'll see. That's why Richard and Jason did season 6 rewatch to set up the Breaking Bad. So we'll see.
Interesting.
So anyway, that's where we are. Gentlemen, I don't know if there's anything else you want to discuss, but we are going to be talking next week. The gun on Ice Planet Zero, which is really cool. My memory of that episode is I know where they filmed the gun complex with those towers that moved up and down. I'm going to see if I can visit and take a picture of it. It was really cool. Or at least where they got the idea. Because remember, there were like 3 units that went up and down, remember?
Yep.
And they were not circular, but they were like, they were squared off, whatever. But yeah, it's actually from Orange County. There was a business park there. And I know that's where they got the idea for it. It's really cool. I don't think they did the filming there because on set, those things go up and down. But it was really cool because I remember passing by. And I'm like, the gun and Ice Planet Zero. Everyone in the car is like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, if I have to repeat myself,
That's funny.
sadly, it did happen. So I'm looking forward to that episode again. It was exciting. Other than that one scene, guys, I do remember that I was nervous as the fleet was getting nearer and nearer, and the massive flash of the gun. I was like, wow. I remember genuinely worrying for the fleet. That was a big deal. So I'm looking forward to that one, and it's good. So Trey, I think you're going to get an invite from either Greg or Michael to join the chat group, and then that way you'll have the code.
I'll do that right now.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, and you can bring them onto the club. And all we do is we share the codes for the program, so you can automatically get in and join us. And if we talk about the episodes that we're going to go over and stuff like that, that's all.
Okay, cool.
All right, Trey, I missed out on the episode. I'm going to check it out. I just haven't had a chance, but I look forward to it.
I thought
appreciate the
we
comment.
already did this.
Oh, did you add them?
Yeah, no, I thought we already did it. I just added them now.
Okay, yeah, I didn't notice anything. I just didn't know yay or nay. All right. We did well.
I thought Baltar did it too last week.
Oh. She may not have, just because she didn't take the initiative, because
Oh, she created the group.
there was but there was some internal discussions about taking initiatives. So she might have just said, I'll wait. Which is funny.
The best subordinates are the ones that just go and do. You don't have to give them an order.
Yeah, that's why I said I don't know if he's already been added. If he hasn't, please do so, but it's all good.
I'm there now.
Yes, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Back to Galactica. It is our childhood. We're having memories, but we're learning stuff, seeing it again. And I don't know about you, but listening to Michael, listening to Greg, listening to Trey, I learned stuff that I never knew. And I'd like to, I hope the audience, being fans themselves, learn stuff that they didn't know either. Because Battlestar Galactica, forgive me, it is a hardcore fan base.
Isha gave us some really good trivia earlier in the
Yes, and I apologize.
Around
Oh, I didn't mention
about
Aisha.
10:15. She was giving us some really good trivia.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's midnight over there in the United Kingdom. So
I
yes,
think it was 3 a.m. when she joined us.
Yeah,
and
you're
then
right.
they chimed in.
Aisha's a
her.
big part of this as well. All of the stuff that she does, and she tries to join us whenever she can. Trey, I set this episode up like in March or April, the December 8th episode, right? I set it up in March or April. People were sharing that episode within days of me posting it. I told these guys, oh crap. and it's a.
I wonder if that's why we got all the views for that
Well,
one.
we got 500 views for the very first episode, and I think we've already crossed 3,000 for Battlestar Galactica. Remember, the first episode was the mini series,
Right.
and then when we did that one, I think we're already over 3,000. That's crazy. That's far and away one of our best
Between all
episodes.
the platforms.
No, that's just YouTube.
Wow.
I think we're over four. We might even be on 5,000 already for that one across the entire network. That mini series, oh my God, the numbers are just unreal. I may go to it right now and see where we're at right now. But folks, we're not hiding it. I mean, you can see it for yourselves under the live. Where are we at? Let me go by popular. All right. Well, I was wrong.
Well, hopefully my friends
we're at
from
2,500.
Oh, wow. Well, hopefully my friends from Connecticut Sci-Fi Fanatics, if aren't with us now, will be joining and watching this after the fact. And hopefully all of our friends in Promenade, which is a group that Trey and I are both in, are enjoying if they're watching live. And I will try to remember every time we go on to make sure we tell those crews we're here.
And it's very kind. And I know people have been in this episode. I can see the numbers; they're up and down, and I'm eternally grateful. We do this, folks, for fun, and it's really nice when people join us and we read your comments in the chat room. So it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. I don't know what the last Battlestar Galactica one was, but I'll find it wherever it is. But we're thrilled. And folks, you guys know if you want to be on the program, just join us. That's it. iBeamer joined us for, I think, Ahsoka, right? And I think he had actually joined in on another one. And forgive me, he might actually be watching right now. But the thing about iBeamer was so cool when he actually his first post had a negative slant. The comment, it wasn't directed at us, but it had a negative slant. But I still showed it, and my co-hosts are like, "Why are you showing it, dude?" It was a smart comment. Whether we agree with it or not, it was thought out. And I posted it, and he told us he was surprised that we did. Like, nah, man, you took the time to write a smart comment. Whether we agree with it or not doesn't matter. That's the beauty of it. There's no hate here. Well, I mean, when we detect it, we kick it out.
Yeah, no, I mean, thoughtful criticism.
Yes.
Voicing, oh, I wish it went this way isn't really hate.
Yeah.
It's not like, Jar Jar Binks or anything.
Yeah. And folks, I'll tell you this. The one word that tunes all of us out, this sucks. Blank sucks. It's like,
because that's not a bad thing.
Thank you for playing.
When something sucks, that's not a bad thing.
If it's a vacuum cleaner.
Especially if it's a vacuum cleaner.
Oh my God, I can't believe I missed that. You're all red, Greg. I can't believe I missed it. What a dumb butt I was. Oh my God. That was good, buddy. Oh, wow. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, we don't have news on the Ark, but as you know, we have been fortunate. Mr. Devlin's production company tolerates our existence, and they're working with. They do. They're working with us. Well, we've had Dean Devlin on as well, twice on the network. He's so awesome, man.
Well,
But
look, he started as one of us.
He did.
In a way.
Yeah. No, you're right. He did. And we got so many people from the Ark. So when season 2 is out, look, we were told by them is like, no comments about season 2, nothing. Like, okay, we'll keep our mouth shut, and we are. But people are asking me about the Ark when we're going to do the rewatch. I'm like, oh God, we're going to do a rewatch already? I don't know. But we are going to do something.
I'm going to need to rewatch it before the second season because I binged it like in 3 nights. So,
Trey, did you see the Ark on the Sci-Fi Channel?
I did not.
Okay.
You might like it.
You might, but
I might indeed.
after the first episode, it doesn't. But you realize that we had like almost the entire cast on one episode. Check this out, buddy. This is a screenshot of one episode that we did here on the network. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We had actually 8 at one point.
That's
That
quite a
was crazy.
feat.
Yes, a lot of it was Michael, and it was also a lot was
A
this young
lot of
lady right there.
Mercedes.
Mercedes.
How many
Greg,
times has she been with you guys now?
she's been on 4 times now, but
She's a hoot.
she, Greg, am I exaggerating? That woman is a Renaissance woman.
Oh yeah, no, she's really cool.
Oh my God, yes, she is so awesome. She twisted some arms. There are people on screen that said no to us, and we hinted it. She's like, "Oh, really?" A week later, we got confirmations. That was funny. She's a good person.
We had a great conversation with her when I joined you.
She is a lot of
And
fun.
she was talking about her art and stuff. And she had her pup.
Yeah, it's incredible. So I've been told a bunch of things. I'm like, no, she's just awesome. She spends a lot of time with us, which is really cool. So, but all right. I know we've really gone way over now, ladies and gentlemen, but I do want to thank everyone for sticking with us. Appreciate the comments. Aisha, thank you for putting in that stuff as well.
Definitely.
I'm already prepping for the next episodes. See, I didn't have my background. Trey, when we did the 1978 miniseries, the 3-hour episode, all of us had trivia. All of us had all the. I mean, dude, we were so prepared. I mean, it was awesome. And that's what we do here. So, Trey, thank you for being a part of it. I love the flavor you're giving it. I'm looking forward to this. This is cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool.
A lot of fun.
Right. Yes. Anything else, gentlemen? Okay.
Good night. Thank
yeah.
you for watching.
Yep, that's it, folks. Down
Follow
there,
us.
yes, like, subscribe, please. It helps the old guys. Look down there, ndbmedia.net. Check out everything that's scheduled. We actually have 3 guests that have already confirmed. 2 have given us dates already. 1 has not. And oh my God, did Mike make the announcement yet? We have Jeremy Miller from Growing Pains. He's committed. Bill Blair, look him up. Actor of many sci-fi shows. He's committed. And folks from Alien Nation, Fame, Hot Pursuit, and Star Trek Enterprise, Eric Pierpoint. So those are just the ones that we have. They've committed. They've told us that they want to be on. We're now just coming up with the correct dates. That is so cool. So those are the 3 that are their actual dates are to be determined, but they're going to be on.
And also at the website, you can go back and watch previous episodes.
Thank you. Yes, you'll find our entire video library there. It's all there, folks. So both audio and video. So check it out. And I guess that's it. So, gentlemen, we're good.
See you next time on the Muppet Show.
I'm going to have my sock puppet with me. You know, I think I'm going to get it's going to be pink or black. I don't know which. And it's going to have a little name tag, say Cora on it. Thank you. I appreciate the courtesy chuckle. All right. On behalf of Trey, Greg, I'm Roger. Greg, would you take us out?
Thank you for watching. Remember to like and subscribe. And we will see you next time on Trekking Across the Universe.
Peace out.